Okay.
If you hit subscribe and the bell, you'll be able to see when the chat room opens up. So that's
already right. So okay.
all right. Hey, everybody on YouTube, how you all doing tonight? And, last night after the show, I was kind of going over with everybody how I was having a little bit of a bout with my depression that kicked in, feeling much better today. All of your words of encouragement and wisdom always help out. And that's why we talk about these things, people. That's why we don't hold these things in. Because when we talk about them, it's easier to heal and it's easier to move on. And I feel like a brand new man today, and you guys are a big part of that. So thank you so much for being there for me last night when I was feeling a little down. And that's the way we got to do it. That's the way we make things work, and that's the way we help each other. Karen Anderson is our guest tonight. She's been on once before. This was a couple of years ago, and she is amazing. Amazing when it comes to animal communication, and that's what we're going to get into with her tonight. And before I bring her in, let's give a quick shout out to everybody who is in our YouTube chat room already. Good evening, Nilbog. Welcome. The gorgeous Kimberly, thanks for coming back. The stunning Becky Belling, thank you for joining us. Brett Lewis is here, everyone, which means we could officially start the show. Cat Chaser, always a pleasure to have you here. Hi, Cedric. Good to see you once again. Ninja, thanks for coming on in. Paul John Tavares, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Tommy Lee Ireland, there he is, man. There he is. Give him a round of applause tonight. Sandra Piper, how are you, my dear? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. The gorgeous and talented Jessica McCreary is here, everyone. She'll be combing her hair after the show just to the left of the studio here. You might want to hit her up for an autograph, so make sure you check that on out. Boz, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Dirty Filth, Murray Fisher, always a pleasure to have you guys here. Thank you. The gorgeous Kristen Alberg is here, everyone. She's looking lovely tonight, so welcome, Kristen. Fast Hemi, good to see you here as well, my friend, as you are every night. We appreciate you. Mike Stockton, always a pleasure to have you here. Princess Denali, the official princess of Spaced Out Radio, thank you for joining us. Millennium, good to have you back, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Troy SR71, I love that name, man. I love that name. I think it's one of the best names, dude. It really is. Welcome. Chris Mo, good to see you here. Stu Effin Gerson. Right there, Stu. You know what that means. Thank you for joining us. Off-World Adam, thank you for coming on in once again. And Howard, good to have you here again, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Jim, thank you for coming on in, man. Always appreciate you here. Miss Pickles, thank you for joining us. Little Marky Spender, a.k.a. Timber Hunter. Hey, Baxter. Where's Baxter? Is Baxter there? Because I'm saying hi, Baxter. Karen, my friend Mark here, his dog actually watches me on YouTube. Baxter. Yeah. So Baxter is watching right now, I think. All right, Bee's Nest, good to have you here. Richard Elmore, thank you for coming on in. Always a pleasure. Desert Clam. Oh, hey, Clam. How you doing? And who else we got here? Jerry O'Brien is here, everyone. Zach, always a pleasure to have you here. Hey, Life, nice to see you. And thank you, Murray Fisher, for the super chat, and Cat Chaser for the super chat as well. I really appreciate the lovely support you guys give. It really helps out what we are doing here. It's a good way to support this show with the super chat, and giving us a thumbs up or down also helps. And hitting that subscribe button means a lot because we're encroaching on 10,000. We are just over 200 away, people. 200. So we'd appreciate if we could hit that before the end of the year. I think we're going to, and I'm going to, maybe crack open a nice bottle of iced tea for that. Hey, Nate, using the name a.k.a. Amanda Laraway. I bet you Amanda has better legs than you, Nate. No offense. Philip Blair, good to have you here. BBD Warrior, thank you for joining us. Stargate, always a pleasure to have you here, my friend. And who else we got? Burrito, you're still making me hungry. Still making me hungry. Redheaded Lisa, thank you for joining us. Paul Holland from Brisbane in Australia. Do me a favor, Paul. How is tomorrow looking? Since you live in the future, could you please let us know if we are alive tomorrow in North America? Project Blue Book, thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure. And I think I'm caught up. By gosh, I think I'm caught up. And the gorgeous Jules, there you are. Gorgeous Marie, thank you for joining us. And we are about 30 seconds away. Karen Anderson is our guest tonight. She is going to be amazing if you've never heard her speak. Hello, sweet Donnie C. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, we're 30 seconds away here from launching tonight's show. And remember, hit that subscribe button if you are new or checking us out for the first time. Also, a great way to support this show is by shopping at the SOR Vault. Go to facebook.com/the SOR Vault. We got great swag there for you to choose from, and we will get that off to you ASAP. 5 seconds, everyone. We're going to have a great show tonight. I hope you enjoy it. I know I'm going to. Here we go. Of central British Columbia to you listening around the world. This, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on KPNL, TalkStream Live, and Revolution Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, they are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Tonight's show is brought to you by Chive Charities. Help make the world 10% happier by visiting Chive Charities today. You can find them on our website. Karen Anderson is an award-winning animal communicator who has been conducting private sessions for those wanting to connect with their pets, living or deceased, for the last couple of decades. She's also a psychic medium with the ability to connect with departed humans. Karen discovered her special gift as a child. Her abilities developed over the years and became particularly significant when she was a deputy sheriff. She discovered that animals on crime scenes could provide accurate and detailed information about suspects and criminals. Oh, we're definitely finding out about that tonight. Then at the bottom of hour number 3, we're going to join Shane with the shift to go right across Canada. We have the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day. Now, Karen Anderson, it's been a while since we had you on Spaced Out Radio, but it's always a pleasure to have your knowledge and your excitement here on our show. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been way too long, and I don't know about you, but I'm getting younger, not older, since the last time I was on here.
Me too. Me too. My beard is getting longer. My hair is looking more luscious every single day. So I know what you're going through. Totally. Totally. Karen, for people who may not know your story, you're a former police officer and you are a psychic medium since you were a child. What happened when you discovered your abilities as a child?
Well, I don't know that I discovered them so much as I learned to cover them up because nobody understood me and everyone thought I was, pretty crazy. So I learned at a very, very young age that what I was doing wasn't accepted by those who were closest to me. So it's really unfortunate because I think back if I had had, a lot of support back then, I'd be crazy off the charts, doing what I do right now instead of trying to catch up all these years because I suppressed it for so long. I was always keeping it to myself. So if you have a child that's highly intuitive, which children can be very, very intuitive, I hope that you will support them and help them understand their abilities. And we're all born with these abilities. We just learn to shut them down. So it really is more about a reawakening or realizing what I could do and what I covered up for so long. So that's really what it was about.
Why did you cover it up?
Well, I felt right away that it wasn't something that my parents were excited about. They didn't know what to do with me when I could tell them things about the family dog or the family cat that I shouldn't know, or that my great-grandfather, who I had never met or never seen pictures of, I could describe him because he would visit me in my room. There were just things that I would share with my parents, it just freaked them out. And you would think it wouldn't because it was the 60s. So, you think they'd be kind of open to it, but they weren't.
Well, that's terrible. But I mean, you eventually found your own way. And, were you considering yourself as a psychic medium before you were a police officer?
No, 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 not at all. In fact, I was the most unpsychic person on the planet until I was a cop. And it was those crazy nights where I was out on patrol by myself in the middle of the Rocky Mountains where my radio didn't even work, dispatch didn't know where I was. That's where all my intuitive abilities really kicked in.
Explain to us what happened there when they kicked in.
Well, it was the craziest thing. And when you work by yourself on the night shift as a cop coming right out of the police academy, you're doing the best you can, but you're really flying by the seat of your pants. And the nearest backup car would sometimes be 45 minutes to an hour away. So you have to work really smart just for your own personal safety. So I might get calls for, burglary in progress or domestic violence, or, you just never know what you're going to get called out for. And since I was arriving on scene by myself, I would have to be really careful about how I approached people, what was behind me, my own personal safety. And I began to slowly read the energy of the people on scene. So suspects, criminals, victims, I started to read the energy or sense the energy, if you will, when you walk into a room. So that's really how it all started to snowball.
That had to be a little weird, because as a police officer, you have to be prepared for absolutely anything, especially if you're working alone along highway patrol. I mean, from accidents to robberies to people trying to get away, drunk drivers, whatever it may be. I mean, coming up on accident scenes, and I'm sure this happened. You don't have to go into detail if you don't want to, but I'm sure you came across more than one accident scene where maybe someone was about to perish or had already passed away, and here you are, not only doing your duty as a police officer, but seeing the spirit right there as well, or the spirit leaving the body.
Well, there were some pretty crazy situations, that's for sure. But I think what happened to me was when the craziest stuff started happening when I was practicing animal communication with my own pets. So I had an interest in animal communication, but it was when I would arrive on a crime scene and the resident pets would share information with me that ended up being accurate about what happened on the scene before I arrived. So that's where all the craziness started. So that stuff right there just blew my mind, and I had this realization of, if animals can tell me what happened on a crime scene, what else can they tell me? I mean, really, where's the limit here? It just blew my mind.
Okay, so the first time you started hearing from animals, what was that like for you? And did you question your own sanity?
Very much so, because, as a cop, you have to have credibility. I mean, you show up in court, you testify, you have to prepare cases, you have to collect evidence. I mean, it's all about credibility. If you don't have credibility as a cop, you don't have anything. And here I come with my, unknowing psychic abilities of being able to understand animals, and suddenly I'm hearing and receiving messages from pets on a crime scene. I literally thought I was going crazy because I was hearing voices in my head, but it was my own voice in my head, but it wasn't something I was thinking about. So it's really kind of a shock to the system when it happens.
You didn't think it was like the stress from the job or anything along those lines that was causing it?
No, not at all. In fact, it was very clear to me that the information was coming from the animals. The way that it comes through is not in a way that you could mistake it for somebody else. And the only way I can describe that to you is when you're dreaming when you wake up and you've had a really vivid dream, you know exactly who was in that dream, and you know exactly what they were telling you, or what you were doing in that dream. There's no mistaking that there was anybody else in that dream except who you were dreaming about. That's the best way I can describe it to you. It's just a sense and a knowing that you just know that that's where that information is coming from.
Okay, so once you figured out and you crossed off the list that Karen isn't crazy, and I mean that in a fun way, so please don't take that as being insulting. You know, once you cross that off your list, because there is a level of skepticism that comes across each and every one of us, you probably immediately started working on this gift to communicate with animals, and this had to hit you quite profoundly, where to the point where probably you couldn't wait to get off of work to start testing this theory out.
Well, it definitely changed my entire life at that point. And I was really going into law enforcement for a law enforcement career. I had no intention of becoming a full-time animal communicator. That was not on my to-do list. So I went with the full intention of following through with law enforcement and staying on the department, and everything just shifted. That wasn't what the universe had in store for me. And it so fascinated me that I couldn't get enough. Like I was like a sponge. I wanted to read everything I could about any book that was out there on the topic, which were very few books at the time. You know, we didn't have the internet like we do now. This was back in the late 90s is when all of this started happening. So it was a very different world and a very different time. But I realized that I had this ability, and I realized that there was this unlimited potential, and it was fascinating, amazing, and mind-blowing all at the same time, but I had to keep it to myself. Can you imagine if I had to write in one of my police reports that my confidential informant had 4 legs and a tail? I mean, come on. I'd be the laughing stock of the department. I was already having a hard enough time because I was the only female officer on the department. So, yeah, like I'm going to step forward and raise my hand and say, oh, yeah, I can talk to the animals on a crime scene. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, that would pretty much have caused you for some time off that you didn't need.
Absolutely.
How long were you an officer for?
I was with that department for almost 3 years. And the saying is 3 years or that long, 1 year on a small department is like 5 years on a big department, because it was the you catch them, you clean them mentality. So you had to take the case from as soon as you made contact with the person all the way until after the court date and after everything was done. It was yours the whole time. There was no one to hand the case off to. There was no narcotics division. There was no homicide division. It was like you caught them, you clean them. You hooked them, they were yours. You had to take it all the way through. So it was a very incredible, amazing, eye-opening, enlightening experience that really, I miss those days. I miss being a cop. I really loved the job, and I loved the officers that I worked with. But I'll tell you what I don't love. I didn't love being on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I didn't love being constantly compared to my male officers. And that wasn't fun. So there's parts I love and parts I didn't love so much.
So when you decided that, after wanting to be a police officer for your entire life, to all of a sudden going out and becoming a full-time psychic medium, what was the reaction around your family, your friends, the people who cared about you, even your fellow officers, when you told them, I've had enough of being on duty and I'm going to try something else here?
Well, I think my family had a really hard time wrapping their head around the fact that I was going to be a cop, and scared to death that I was doing that, especially in such a small department. And then I made the announcement that I was leaving law enforcement and really didn't want to tell anybody what I was doing. So I actually went back into the mortgage industry for a while just to kind of get my bearings and figure out how I was going to do this. So I just kind of quietly, I didn't really tell everyone what I was doing because they already thought I was crazy for wanting to be a cop.
Yeah, so here you are, go from cop to mortgage broker, you know, arresting people in one sense and arresting their finances in another. You really, were taking it to people there. You're a rough one. I would never want to drop the gloves with you.
I was the good guy, though. I was helping them get their loan application approved. I was the one that was taking your pay stubs and your W-2s and your tax returns. That was me.
Huh. Well, okay. Let's get to the point where you decided that you've seen enough, you've done enough, you're building up a clientele, and now you're going to focus on becoming a full-time psychic medium. That is something for a lot of people that is a very tough choice to make because there's financial implications that you have to deal with. Whether it's a mortgage or a car payment or something along those lines, especially when you're dealing with times where at times you're not going to have clients. How did that get started for you?
Well, it was painfully slow in the beginning because I live in an area in eastern Washington state in a town just north of Spokane, and it's a very conservative town. So I wasn't welcome with open arms here, and there's very, very few metaphysical, psychic, or other types of events in this part of town. So I was very isolated, and I would literally go to every event I could think of here locally just to drum up business. And it was a painfully slow process. But where I found my calling and where I really started to gain momentum is I started attending different psychic fairs across the U.S. So I attended the Body, Mind, and Spirit Expos, and I would fly to 15 different cities throughout the year, and I would meet my clients there. And literally, as soon as I set up my card table and my folding chair and put out my business cards, I would be booked from the minute I set up on Friday into the minute I closed down on Sunday. And that's where everything just really took off.
That had to give you a real growth of confidence.
It was huge because I found my tribe. I found people who were already open to the metaphysical world, that were interested in the psychic realm, and that it wasn't like trying to explain, like trying to sell coffee at a tea convention. I found my place. I found my people and my tribe, and I really, those were my training ground. That's where I really sharpened my skills and where I really enhanced my abilities, because I literally have back-to-back readings the entire weekend. It was crazy. It was a lot of work, but it was crazy fun too.
How did you learn to trust your abilities? Because when you are, putting somebody's most personal questions out there to the world of spirit, whether it's for animals, whether it's for people and their everyday lives, or to try and talk to loved ones, how did you know you were getting the correct messages to pass on that would comfort people?
I didn't. I really didn't. It was when you have the client on the phone with you and a loved one comes through and you share a message, you only find out right in that moment. I mean, all I am is literally, it goes back to law enforcement. And this is what I love about how all the dots get connected here. I'm just an investigator. I investigate, I obtain information, evidence, if you will. I call myself an evidential medium because I don't just get information like, oh, your departed pets or your departed grandparents love you and they're with you and they're smiling upon you. No, I go in and I go for the details. Specific information known only to you, and the only one who would know that is the person that I would be talking to. That's the kind of information that I like to obtain during my consultations. And you only know in the moment. You have to just trust what you're getting. And after as many sessions as I've conducted over the years, you get to the point where you get very confident on trusting the information that comes through. But there is definitely a learning curve, and it took me quite a few years to sharpen those abilities and get to the point where I was really, really good at this.
As you are gaining confidence in your own abilities, what's coming to you? Like, are you getting spirits keeping you up until all hours of the night, both animals and humans? Or how did it work for you?
No, it's actually not like that at all. It's very controlled. And I've only had a couple of situations where, well, one particular time, I got up in the morning here at the house that I'm living in right now. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. And I walked out to the kitchen to go make some coffee. And as I walked past the living room, I saw the image of an old man sitting in my recliner. So I stopped dead in my tracks. My heart stopped. And I thought, am I really seeing this? Because you could see him, but you could see through him, and I didn't know who it was, and I was freaking out. I didn't know if I should grab my shotgun. I didn't know who this guy was. So I yelled at him, and I said something like, who are you, and what are you doing here? And he had my remote control in his hand, or a remote control in his hand, and he was looking at the TV, which was turned off, and he was cussing at the TV. And he said his name was Robert, and that's all he would tell me. He would just look at the TV, cuss at the TV, and hold the remote up. That was it. That's all I could get out of him. And I said, you need to get out of here. You're not welcome here. You need to go. And I told him to exit stage left, and, literally was like, oh, my God, what just happened? And this guy wouldn't leave. He stayed around all day, not in physical form, but energetically. I could sense his energy around me all day. And I had a day full of appointments. So every time at the top of the hour I had a new client, I would ask them, do you have someone by the name of Robert that's an older gentleman that would, sit and watch TV for hours and hours? Everybody said no. So remember, this was 6 o'clock in the morning. Every single client said no. My last client of the day got on the call with me, excuse me, and I said the same thing. Do you have somebody by the name of Rob? Oh, yeah, that's my Uncle Bob. And, yeah, he used to get really mad, and we'd watch sports, and he'd yell and cuss at the TV all day. I said, well, your Uncle Bob has been here since 6 o'clock this morning, so let me see what the message is that he has for you. So he delivered the message, and it was something like, go Chargers or whatever their team was, and then he disappeared. That was the last I saw of him, and that was the last I heard from him.
That is awesome. That is just awesome. He just needed to get that message out. That's all it was.
He just wanted to pop in and say hello, but he wasn't going to leave until he delivered his message at 6 o'clock that night.
Oh, why not? I guess that's his prerogative.
Absolutely.
All right. We only got about 25 seconds here before we have to go to break. And I guess I should tell the audience, right before you and I hooked up before the show, I was outside with my dogs. And I literally saw my dog Shadow, or what I thought was my dog Shadow, walk up along the snow. It was dark out. And then I realized that whatever it was that was walking there disappeared. And my dog Shadow came running up a couple minutes later. So I got to see a ghost dog tonight while we're talking to Animal Communicator Karen Anderson. That's a great way to segue into the second half hour of tonight's show, where we're going to get into animal communication. What's it like to talk to our pets and have our pets talk back? On Spaced Out Radio next. All right, we're clear. Are you there, Karen?
I'm here. I just, what did you see? Like, describe it to me.
Well, my dog Shadow is a black, purebred black German Shepherd, and they walk very, very distinctly.
Yes.
And I watched him, and it walked exactly like my dog's shadow, because I'm up on my patio, so I'm looking down on the ground, and just the way my dog's shadow would kind of walk with his head down and his nose going crazy on the ground, and then it just kind of disappeared. And
So it was the same height and everything, like
yeah,
it was the normal height.
yeah,
Wow,
yeah, like just the
super
normal.
cool.
So I'm like, Shadow, come on, let's go. Shadow, come on. And where I'm looking, there's no dog now. And I'm like, where the hell is my dog? Right? And then all of a sudden I'm like, Shadow, and then all of a sudden I see my sensor light go on in my carport, which means that he's running through the carport to come up and see me. And that's
Uh,
exactly what it was. So it looked amazing. Absolutely
wow.
amazing. It was awesome.
Well, I know we were on the phone talking when that happened. That was so cool.
Yes. Yes. Now, so,
Well, that is a rare occurrence, so you should feel really special that you got that visitation from him. So be sure you thank him and tell him how much you appreciate that, because that takes a
yeah,
lot of energy to do that. A lot.
I get, believe it or not, Karen, if you came to my house, I'm like a frickin' Kmart blue light special for the weird here.
I love it.
Yeah. So it is very, very cool. Um, you know, it's just there's always something going on here. It's always
Well,
something going on. I mean, sometimes it's aliens, sometimes it's real life animals. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I will tell you this. I have a cherry tree in my backyard. Okay, and from my carport door to my cherry tree is probably 30 feet, 35 feet maximum. And about a month and a half ago, like, it's not just like a regular cherry tree. It's those gross, like, Japanese cherry trees where the cherries are like hard and sour. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
Anyways, so I'm standing there, and I feel like I'm outside, and I'm standing there, and I feel like I'm being watched. And I look over at my cherry tree, and I see the grainy image with my eyes of a doe. This beautiful doe that comes into our yard, and she's looking at me, and she kind of slowly takes a step back. And I went, "Oh, hi. How are you tonight? You look beautiful." I said, you don't have to leave. Those cherries are for you on that tree. You can have as many as you want. And she moved a couple of steps forward. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. They're all for you. You just take them. And I must have talked to her for about 5 minutes. And I swear that she knew exactly what I was saying. Exactly. Because I told her point blank, I said, I'm going to go inside now. You can go reach up and grab those cherries. And as soon as I said that, she reaches up, grabs the cherries, and I just went, there you go, girl. And I walked inside and I said, good night. I swear that she could understand me.
Well, I believe you. Look who you're talking to. Of course, of all people, I'm going to believe exactly that.
Yeah. It was awesome. It's just like a couple years ago, I had this buck in my yard. He saw me, and it was during rutting season. And it was about last year. And he sees me, and and all of a sudden he starts coming for me. And he's probably 65 feet away from me, and I'm kind of like, yeah, dude, you can't come here, man. You can't come here. And he took a couple steps forward. I'm like, dude, I told you can't come here because I'm not here to hurt you. I'm not here. I'm not going to fight you. Not going to fight you. You'll win. And finally, he just kind of was like, okay, well, wandered off and did his own thing. But it was almost tense there for a second. Thought I was going to have to run inside.
Yeah, well, it's one thing to communicate with your own pets, but connecting with wildlife they're so sensitive. If you think about it, they're almost all preyed upon. They're almost always some predators after them, especially a prey animal like a deer. They're really, really sensitive. So imagine when you have a thought,
Yeah,
they can pick up that energy so quickly
absolutely.
because
Hold on
they
right
have.
there, my dear. We're going to get going right now. Second half hour of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight. We really do appreciate turning your listening ears. I want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight we continue on with animal communicator Karen Anderson. What is it like to communicate with your pets? Karen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me back again.
All right, let's just get right down to it, because there are certain animals that you cannot communicate with. Is that a choice that you don't communicate with them, or just that they have their own internal psychic blockages that don't allow you in?
Well, it's not quite that. How it actually is that I'm a pet communicator. So the majority of my time and all of my sessions over the past 2 decades, I have connected with people's pets. So it's the same process to connect with other animals, such as wildlife or anything that's out there. So any kind of sentient being I can connect with. It's just that I don't have any good stories about them because all of my sessions are about people's pets. So I can communicate with any animal, living or deceased, but all my stories and all my experience revolve around people's pets.
Okay. So when you first started noticing, let's go back to when you first started communicating with your own pets. What was that like, and what was the first message you got?
Well, the first message I got as an adult, because, being the kid doesn't count because it wasn't even anything near what I do right now. But the first message I got was from one of my own cats, and he literally told me, I heard it in my own voice, in my own head. He told me that he was blocked. Now, I didn't know it, but he was having a blockage in his urinary system where he couldn't use the litter box. He had a blockage. This is a really serious condition. They can actually die from it. I've had another cat die from it. They can poison their own bloodstream if they can't use the litter box. So he said to me, the first thing I heard was, "I'm blocked." And I looked around the room to see if there was someone else in there, because I was a cop at the time, and we'd have some of the other deputies that would sleep over at our house because they didn't want to drive all the way down to Denver. So I'm looking around thinking, who's saying that? And then I realized it was in my own voice, in my own head. So I looked down, my cat was laying there, and I looked at him and I said, "Did you say that?" I said it out loud. "Did you say that?" And I heard, "Yes, I'm blocked." But it was very urgent. It was like a very urgent feeling. So that kind of creeped me out, freaked me out. But remember, I had been practicing this. I had been working toward this. I had wanted this to happen. Now it was suddenly happening, but I wasn't trying, which is the key to learning animal communication. Sometimes you have to just let it happen. You can't force it. You can't make it happen. You just have to kind of go with it and learn how to receive their message without forcing it. So I rushed him off to the vet. The cat ended up being blocked. And as I'm sitting there waiting, the vet comes out and says, he was just barely blocked. How did you know that? How could you tell? I was having a hard time myself. How did you know he was blocked? I didn't have the courage to tell him. Well, the cat told me. I was still a cop. I didn't want anyone to think bad of me, but now I don't care. I'll tell anyone. The cat told me he was blocked. I have no problem sharing that story.
All right, so we're talking blocked with some sort of stones or urinary tract crystals?
Right. It was a crystal. You know, they develop crystals if they're not eating a certain type of diet,
Yes, my
and he
cat
had
had that.
never had. Yeah, he'd never had that happen before, so it wasn't like an ongoing thing. It was brand new to this cat. You know, it was completely out of left field. Never had that situation happen before to any of my cats, and sure enough, he ended up being blocked. So, you know, that was a really powerful moment because I realized, wow, I really can do this. This is really real. And for those who are skeptical, I understand, I totally get it. But when it happens to you and when you experience it for yourself, it is a game changer. It's amazing. It just opens up so many new perspectives that, you know, what is possible here? What can the animals tell us, and what can we learn from them? And I suddenly became so fascinated by what they could tell me and how much they know.
Okay, so when you are hanging out and you're listening to your cat and your cat's telling you it's got a bad case of crystals and take him to the vet so it can get cleaned up. Obviously, when you get the cat home, there is some sort of testing that you are going to do for yourself to see whether or not this is actually real and to see if you're going to try and reproduce this.
Right. You're obviously you're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, if I could do this once, I can do it again." But yes, there is. But I will share with you, it's really more difficult to understand your own pet. It's much harder because we already know just about everything there is to know about them. Except in my case, I didn't know he was blocked because he was having a medical issue. I didn't know that. So I got a very urgent message. But the way I uh, coach my clients in animal communication, for those who want to learn, is I coach them to practice with pets they don't know. That way your brain can't autofill the answer. That's how you develop your skill. That's how you develop your abilities. And then you share what you got to the person who that pet belongs to. And that's how you find out how accurate you are, how close you are, or if you're way off base, which is, it happens sometimes. You don't get everything right. But that's how you learn how to understand the information that's coming through by practicing with animals you are not familiar with.
Okay, so here you are working with your cat. Your cat obviously likes you if it comes up and says, "Hey, I need some help." Did it turn out afterwards to just be a regular cat that really couldn't give a care about you?
Oh no, he was one of those very, very special ones. So we were very, very close. And, uh, you know, it just develops a deeper, closer relationship. You feel like you know them on a much higher, more spiritual level. It changes everything, Dave. It changes your whole perception of everything around you when you realize that a living animal and a deceased animal can send me a message that I can understand in the English language. It's amazing if you think about it. It's mind-boggling. It's sometimes hard to wrap your head around. It's been my life now for over 2 decades, so I'm used to it, and this is my world. But when you first stumble upon animal communication and hear about it, you know, at first you're like, yeah, right, whatever. But when it happens to you, when you experience it for yourself, it's it's really fascinating.
Okay, so we all look at cats as this creature we love to hate. All right, like we have two cats in my house, and I got to say I'm blessed, man, because both of these cats are just the most loving and tender cats ever. But I've also had cats too over the years, that they love to give you a love scar every now and again, just because they can. You know what I'm saying? When you're
Oh yeah.
communicating with cats, how do you go about learning their personalities? Does their personality come right out on a psychic level?
Well, every animal that you communicate with, that's one of the things that comes through. You can pick up on their personality. And when you are learning how to do this, you practice by having the pet's photo instead of having them there in the room with you. It's much easier to practice with a photo. So you don't need a photo to connect with a pet, but it's kind of like having that pet cell phone number. You can just dial them up by having that cell phone. It's kind of, I'm a really lazy psychic. I don't want to work any harder than I have to. So the pet's photo lets me access their energy just that much quicker. So by practicing with the photo, you can literally gaze at the photo and start getting information about the type of personality that that pet has. Even if it's a pet you don't know, you just try it sometime. You'll be surprised at how much you can pick up just by gazing at that pet's photo. You don't know anything about this animal, and I'll bet you can look at somebody's pet and start sharing little bits and pieces. You may not be right on everything, but you're going to be right on some stuff, and it's really amazing what comes through. But yes, personality comes through, and just little nuances about whether they're outgoing or shy or nervous, or maybe you have one that's particularly friendly. Cats are always going to make a fool out of me every single chance they get, and they are incredibly intelligent, and they're sometimes a challenge to communicate with because they're not motivated by anything. There's no motivating factor for a cat. A dog you can motivate. They want to play, they want treats, they want affection, they want to go outside, they want to go for walks or rides or whatever. How do you motivate a cat?
Tuna.
They're very much a challenge, and whenever I have a cat session, I always have to gear up for it because you just have to work harder with cats. They're a challenge. Although I will tell you, and I saw this running through your chat, somebody's heard me talking before. There was a session I did one time where it was a missing persons case that I took on, and his two cats were in the apartment with him when he disappeared. And one of the family members contacted me and said, "Hey, we heard you could connect with pets on crime scenes. Do you think you could find out what happened to, our family member who's missing?" I said, "I don't know. Let me try." So I connected with the cats, and they showed me. I saw what happened. They showed me what happened. I saw a little mini movie playing, but I saw it from the cat's perspective. They were under the bed. The cats were under the bed. So I saw what happened from their perspective. And it was not only incredibly accurate, but the cat gave me, it knew one of the people who was involved in this. It gave me that person's initials.
Wow. That's amazing.
And get this. The initials were RHJ. RHJ. I kept saying RHJ, and I saw construction worker boots and a pair of jeans, construction worker boots, and there were two men that were involved in this missing person incident. Got the initials, got a description of one of them, and that the cat knew one of these men. And I gave all of this information to the family, and I also I kept hearing this really weird message that didn't make any sense to us at the time. I kept hearing two forks. I thought, what the heck is that? Two forks. Well, we didn't know what that was. Well, fast forward 3 years, a farmer is out in his field with the tractor, comes across some human bones, turns out to be this individual who went missing 3 years ago. The farm was located on Two Forks Road.
Oh, wow. That's kind of accurate.
Yeah.
That just gave me chills, to be honest.
It's crazy. I'm telling you, this is the stuff that just, I'm so addicted to this because it's amazing. It's amazing, fascinating, and we could never convict because there wasn't enough evidence, but the primary suspect in the case was Robert Hall Jr., RHJ. J. Robert Paul Jr. Somebody knows me. I see in chat. Bomber's heard me talking before because I just saw another one come through chat. So yeah, this is crazy stuff. And you know, I worked a lot of cold cases. That's my other passion, is combining my law enforcement with my animal communication. And it's amazing how accurate the animals are. Amazing how accurate. You know, they don't understand big concepts, like they don't understand, you know, like a kidnapping. That's a human term. They just can tell you what they saw, or they can tell you what happened, or describe what happened. So it's almost the equivalent of talking to about a 9-year-old child. That's about what I've been able. I don't have human kids of my own, so I'm kind of guesstimating right there. So it's about like an 8 or 9-year-old child. You can gather that kind of information. They don't understand big concepts. You know, they don't have agendas. They just kind of share what they're getting, what they see, and how they feel.
Okay. So what's the difference between dealing with cats and dogs?
Oh, total difference. Totally. Any cat people out there know that they are like so incredibly multifaceted. There's so many different layers to cats. And just when you think you've got a cat figured out, you know, they do something and they blow your mind. You know, dogs are very predictable. At least that's been my experience. They're very predictable. You can count on them. They're dependable. You know exactly what they're going to do. They're just, you know, so, I don't know what the right word is, but cats don't have that. Cats will change everything, and cats will lie. I'm a cat lover, so don't get me wrong here. I love cats. I have 9 of my own, so I'm speaking from my heart. Cats will lie. I did this session one time where this client was having a litter box problem, and she had 2 or 3 cats. I don't remember now. But I checked in with the cat, and so I asked each one of the cats, you know, who's not using the litter box? Well, they all blamed each other. You know, not me. It's not me doing it. It's the other one doing it. So, yeah, if somebody's going to make a fool out of me, it's going to be a cat. Somebody's going to give me a hard time, it's going to be a cat. If I'm going to get a messed up story, it's going to come from a cat. And oh boy, do I have a messed up cat story for you. Do I have time for that?
Yeah, we got like 6 minutes. We got lots of time. We got to hear this weirdo story.
Okay. So I had this client one time, and she wanted me to connect with her husband's cat. Now, you got to listen to what I'm telling you here. She was upset because her husband's cat was peeing in her very expensive shoes in the closet. Not in his shoes, peeing in her very expensive shoes in the closet. So she wanted me to find out why the cat was doing this. So I have a picture of the cat. So I open up the cat's energy, and I started asking the cat, you know, hey, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, look at you, I have cats of my own, you know, what's going on, how are you doing? You just kind of get them chit-chatting at first. And so once the cat was trusting me and liked me and was sharing information with me, I said, oh, what's this I hear about you going potty in your mom's shoes? And the cat said, I said, what, are you mad at your mom? Why are you doing that? And she says, I'm mad because my mom and that man locked me out of the bedroom. And so me, not thinking what I was getting myself into, I said, oh, you mean your mommy and your dad? I call you guys mom and dad to them. It's just easier for me, then I don't have to remember names. So your mom and your dad lock you out of the bedroom, and that makes you mad? And the cat said, that man is not my dad.
Oh. Oh. Is that what I think was happening?
Yes.
Oh, so English translation from the cat was that Mama was not bringing Dad home to the bedroom. So
that man is not my daddy. Now remember, the woman contacted me saying, I need you to contact my husband's cat because it is peeing in my shoes. So this wasn't her cat. This was her husband's cat. Well, the cat was mad, all right. And that man was not her daddy that walked out of the bedroom.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So we're having a little bit of... So the cat was actually being very protective of the hubby who wasn't home at the time when the other dude would come on over and, play a game of, I don't know, chess or Clue or something in the bed with the wife.
Okay, so now here's your ethics question. What do you tell the client?
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yep, what would you do? What would you do?
I don't even know. know.
Well,
what did you do?
You better think fast because your client's paying you to find out why the cat's doing this. Your client paid you.
Have you got the money up front?
Oh yeah.
Then you spill the beans.
Okay.
What did you do?
Right. I spilled the beans. She was paying me to find out why the cat was doing that. I did my job.
Perfect. And what's the reaction of the lady who is having an affair on her husband and being tortured by the cat now because of it? What's her reaction?
Total silence. Total silence.
You never heard from her again, did you?
Nope.
I didn't think so.
Nope.
I didn't think so. Wow.
Truth hurts. Her cat the husband's cat ratted her out.
Like, did you sit her down and prepare her and just say, look, I don't know who you are. I don't know anything about you or whatever it may be, or what you do in your own time is your own business, but you paid me for a service, and this is what I got from the cat.
I didn't say it quite that eloquently, but I basically said, the cat is telling me that she's obsessed with you and that man locking her out of the bedroom.
So she knew what you meant?
Yes.
Oh, my. Oh, my. That is awkward.
So, I know. Do we have to go to a break? Because I got another cat story about a bra.
well, we have 40 seconds, just over 40 seconds.
I can't tell it. Oh, maybe
we'll tell it now or two, because I don't want to waste this one. I mean, that was good woo, by the way. Very good woo on the other one. And if this one's going to be good woo to kick off hour number 2, I know Derek in Twitter is going to be, just leaping for joy when we turn up the woo train, up to his door. Right. So let's wait on that.
I'll hold on the next one then. I'll hold.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. And, I've got so many questions for you. I know there is already a plethora of questions from our chat rooms to people who want to ask you questions about your abilities. And once again, I just want to remind people, if you're in one of our chat rooms or on Twitter, we do not do readings. So don't ask me to ask Karen for a reading. We don't do readings on this show, but we do ask direct questions, which we will get to yours coming up here on Spaced Out Radio. Hour 1 down, hour 2 next with Animal Communicator Karen Anderson here on Spaced Out Radio. We're going to turn up the woo just for you, Derek, tonight. Here we go. All right, we're clear. I'm just going to run my dogs outside. I'll be right back, okay?
Yeah, me too. I'll be back.
Do you want help finding out what's going on? I'm Ryan Stacy. head of the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESA. We've teamed up with Spaced Out Radio to investigate cases filled out in the SOR Sightlines report. We are independent, and there's no cost to what we do. All we need is your experience. Let's find out what's happening together on the SOR Sightlines report.
We are scouring the world for the most intriguing stories of your day. Take the time to read up on the SOR Newswire, where our team, led by Captain Shirk, will deliver to you some of the best paranormal and supernatural news, along with some stories that will blow your mind from the weird to the wacky. It's the news outside the news that piques interest, and that's what we're looking to deliver to you. The SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and we have some cool swag for you to pick up. All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the story you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today. Hi, this is Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel where we store all of the SOR show archives for free. And as an added bonus, every 2 weeks I'm posting brand new content on Cryptid Tales, where I will get into some of the spookier legends and folklore from around the world and tell the stories that go with them. Find us at youtube.com/spacedoutradio and check out Cryptid Tales today. Drop a comment and let me know what you want to hear. See you there.
We all know on Spaced Out Radio we love a good beard and mustache, so why not take care of your facial hair with Mighty Moose Beard Oil? Made in Canada, we're taking care of beards and stashes around the world. We use 100% natural ingredients with our oils and balms to make your whiskers feel silky smooth. Use promo code SOR2019 at mightymoosebeard.com today.
Hey Space Travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Tribe and Tribe Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little different. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Tribe Charities, just go to tribecharities.org/donate.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
The party is always on at the Moose Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is where you want to be when visiting Canada's West Coast. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose cranks up the rock while serving some of the best rated food in the city. The menu starts at $6.95. Why party anywhere else in Vancouver when the Moose is right there? Get your horns up and rock with the Moose, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact.
All right, I am back. All right, she's not back from getting her cats. Right. Hi, Kay Kaylee. Hi, Dill Pickle. Hi, Eva. Eva. Brian Smith, how are you, man? Thanks for joining us. Life Dweller, good to have you. Are you back, Karen?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Because we kind of need you here. So, Thurston Howell III is here. Please let us know how Lovey is doing. All right, Karen, we have about 1 minute. 1 minute? Actually, about a minute and a half. Maybe 1 minute. I don't know. Something like that. I haven't figured it out yet. I had a bunch of commercials drop from my run here, and you know, screwed me right up. But I got it timed out. By the way, Gary the Dutchman is in our chat room tonight. He is the owner and producer of Mighty Moose Beard Oil. I'm holding the winter blend right here. Go to mightymoosebeard.com, and they are in Canadian dollars if you use the promo code SOR 2019. So all you do, and this is for ladies too, drop that in your, squeeze it in your hand, and, you know, I'm not saying the ladies have beards or anything, but, you know, you just kind of rub it in your beard, and it would smell so good too. And then if you're really, really stuck, can't figure it out, you can just put it in your hair. Helps with keeping your ends of your hair very, very cool, crisp, and clean. Keeps away those split ends. So we thank the Gary the Dutch from MightyMooseBeard.com for supplying us with some great beard oil. And make sure you use promo code SOR2019 and get yourself some beard oil or some hair oil for today. Thank you, Bob Acrylic, Murray, and Cat Chaser for the awesome super chats. Really do appreciate it. Excuse me. And here we go with hour 2.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio is now underway. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your evening with us. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America and digitally on TalkStream Live, KPNL, and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Obtenebrate. Obtenebrate is your password. Use it wisely, space travelers, as the Clam sets a password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Tonight, we're talking animal communication. Karen Anderson, she's one of the best when it comes to this around North America. She's easy to find all over the internet, Facebook, social media as well. Karen, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. Glad to be here.
So right before we get to some audience questions, and I have a plethora of questions for you as well, you were going to tell another story about a cat and a bra.
I know. What a combination, right? Well, one of the questions I get from time to time is, let's think about this for a moment, Dave. If animals can share details about our lives, let's think about all the compromising positions our pets have seen us in throughout their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So if this is true, how much do they understand? How much would they share? And what would come through during a communication session? So in my experience, there is fortunately this thing I call a veil of privacy around us. So even though our pets have, seen us in many different rooms, in many different ways, doing many different things, there is this veil of privacy that protects us. So that kind of stuff generally doesn't come through in a session. I don't know if it's because the pets just don't care, if they're not interested, or they just got better things to think about, or maybe all of the above. So the most risque thing, I get asked this from time to time, what is the most risque thing that an animal has ever shared with you during a session? And I don't go asking for those details. So let me just put that disclaimer out there. That's really not something I want to know about. But I did have a cat one time tell me, it just blurted out that his mom, meaning his human mom, had a pink bra. Now, I didn't see her wearing the bra. He just said it. My mom has a pink bra. And it turned out that she had just purchased a brand new pretty pink bra, and she was modeling it, and I guess the cat was in the room and saw it. So that is the most risque thing that I have ever heard during a session. Thank goodness.
Well, that is obviously weird. You know, I mean, the cat has a fetish for pink lingerie.
Leave it to a cat.
You know, I mean, because if you think about it, the majority of us do not even think of the animals and what they see, whether we're going to the bathroom or whether we are going to have a shower, having sex, whatever it may be. You know, we really do not, you know, put much stock into the fact that they are there, they are watching, and they are, you know, examining what is going on and hearing strange sounds, and, you know, whether it's guttural or whether it's oral, you know, one of the two. I'm trying to keep this so polite right now, and I don't know if I can. But I mean, I don't even think about it. I don't even think about when that stuff is happening.
It's not something, you know, that we think about, but think just where have your pets been? What have they been seeing? What are they exposed to? It's a very valid question. I can tell you that, you know, in my experience, mine follow me everywhere. They want to be right by me. They want to be very close. They want to always be around. So with that being said, I just want everyone out there to know that your privacy is protected. They don't share your social security number, your bank account number. I don't know your password to your locker combination or to your computer. I can't get that information. I wouldn't try to get that information. Your pets wouldn't be able to give me that information. And you're protected. So don't worry.
I got to ask about dominance, because so many times if you have multiple pets in the house, there's always the one pet that tries to be a little bit more dominant and kind of rule the roost. Is that just animal nature, even though, you know, whether or not mom or dad is the alpha of the house, but they always got to be the animal in charge?
I would say yes. I think that I have a lot of animals, and I've been involved in rescue for about 35 years, so I've had a lot of foster animals come through here. I just think that's their instinct, that's their nature, that's just in their DNA to be dominant, that there is one that's going to always be dominant, unless you just happen to have a couple of pets that just, it doesn't matter to them. But I would say, generally speaking, if you have enough animals in the house, somebody is going to rise to that position. That's just Mother Nature, and, you know, you can't mess with her.
Okay. So, with that being said, okay, I look at my dog, Doug. Okay, Doug has a real surfer dude type attitude where he is very much about he doesn't care about anything. Yeah, he comes every now and again when I call him, but in reality, the only thing he cares about is trying to steal food off the counter and, you know, kind of being just a lazy lug with a surfer attitude where he doesn't really give a care about anything as long as his meal is there. Now, that being said, you know, I don't see him being very protective. I don't see him being, you know, very much a care about anything. He doesn't care for the cats. He doesn't even bother them like they're not even there. You know, you try and pet him, he'll jump off. Like if he's laying on my bed, I'll walk up to him and, hey, buddy, and I'll try and pet him, and he's like, get out of here. I don't have time for you, or anything like that. Is that just his personality coming out, or is it something that maybe he has an issue?
I just think that's his personality. I mean, every single animal is a little bit different in how they interact with other species. And if you live with enough animals, you see enough interaction or lack of interaction to know that it's really just a personal preference. You know, why are some animals real affectionate and then others are more loners? I have 3 little dogs right now, and 2 of them are very affectionate and want to be with me all the time. The third one is kind of a loner, not in a I don't like you kind of way, but she just chooses to go off by herself, or the other 2 want to be right by me. So I just think that's just their personality, and that's just their personal preference.
All right, let's get some audience questions here, if you don't mind. We'd appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right, Jules is asking, how do you convince your dogs not to fight for pecking order?
Well, the best way to maintain peace is to be the one who is in control, and that is not allowing the dogs to rule the roost. So the pecking order is going to be there. There's always going to be some dogs that are more alpha and some dogs that are more omega. But as long as you don't let the dogs make the decisions in the house, that the dogs know that they're followers to the humans, that's how you can help keep a lid on that. And the other thing that I would really recommend doing is, especially if there's a dominance issue between a couple of dogs, is make sure that you aren't rewarding the dominant behavior by showing affection, attention, or saying their name at an inappropriate time. And timing is everything when it comes to dealing with a dominant dog. And even something as small as feeding the omega dog, the low man on totem pole, feeding the omega dog first. That sends a very powerful message to the alpha dog that you're not all that. You know, this other dog is eating first. So in the dog psychology, the top dog, the alpha dog, eats first. And when that dog is done, it steps away and the next dog comes in. And when that dog is done, it steps away and the next dog comes in. So when you feed the bottom, the omega dog, the low man on totem pole first, whoa, you're sending a really powerful message. Humans tend to send conflicting messages to their pets in general. They say one thing, but they mean something else, and they do something entirely different. So if you want better balance in your life with your pets, make sure that your thoughts, your words, and your actions are all in line. And think about the outcome you want, not what you don't want. Most of us think in worst-case scenarios, right?
Right. Makes
We
a
have
lot of
dogs
sense.
that fight. If we have dogs that fight, we think, oh my God, are they going to get in a fight? Are they going to get in a fight? Are they going to get in a fight? I have to stop a fight. I have to stop a fight. We're never thinking, oh, I have 2 peaceful dogs that get along all the time, and it's going to be joyful and harmonious, and everyone's going to get along here. We don't think in terms of what we want. Big mistake. Because in the animal kingdom, they can pick up on every single thought that runs through your mind. They will disregard most of them. But the ones that they do pick up on, if you're sending a message, dogs are going to fight, dogs are going to fight, dogs are going to fight, guess what?
They're going to
You
fight.
just told them it's okay to fight.
Right.
So human is usually the one who needs to be reprogrammed. Dogs are just doing what their environment support.
All right.
And the humans are the ones that we got to fix.
Tanya is asking in the LGAB chat room. She goes, I just bought a new furniture set and want to keep Vera, my cat, off the couch. Here's the problem. She's always been allowed on the couch we just got rid of. She is 7, if you ask. Can I Vulcan mind meld her to get her to wise up and stay off the new couch? She knows she's not allowed on the new stuff, but is being quite pissy about it.
Oh boy, we're talking about a cat here. So what do you think my answer is going to be? Take a wild guess.
Screw you. I'm going on that couch.
How do you motivate a cat? Well, it's not easy. You have to find something to reward the cat by distracting them and redirecting them onto or off of the furniture with a reward. So cat learns by reward to stay off furniture. I say good luck with that because I got 9 of them here, and you know, they do what they want. They run the place. They're in charge. I'm not. And it's really hard. It's hard with cats. As soon as I go to sleep at night, I know they're up on the counters. I know they are. They're not supposed to, but I know they're up there. So it's really, that's a tough one. You have to just be really persistent and try to reward them for staying off the couch. And good luck with that.
Speed Buggy is asking, animal vets claim cats and dogs see in black and white and shades of gray. How would this cat know about the pink bra?
Scientists have been wrong, and they've finally admitted it. So they don't know what they're talking about. Animals see in vivid colors. I have yet to have, in over 24 years now, I've yet to have an animal that has only shown me images in black and white or talked about their life or their food bowls or their people or bras or anything in black and white. Doesn't happen. It's never happened.
All right. Christopher wants to know, Karen, if dogs grieve for other family dogs when they pass away, and if they in fact sense that type of loss.
The question is, do they grieve?
Yes.
Is that the question? Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. Absolutely. And what's really weird, Dave, is some don't. Some aren't affected by it at all. So my question is, why are some animals so profoundly affected and deeply grieving where they will go off their food, they'll be lethargic, they won't act like themselves? I mean, they're really missing a companion that passed, and yet others, skip around and act like, ooh, woohoo, there's more food for us now, more treats for everyone. It is so weird to me that some are so incredibly affected by grief and yet others aren't. It's a mystery. I don't have the answer to that question, but do pets grieve for other pets? Absolutely, absolutely, yes, they do. They experience many of the same emotions that we experience. They just don't reason the way that we do. They don't think about, oh, if I do this, this is going to happen. They don't think that way. They just react. They just do. So it's a little bit, there's some things they do, certain emotions that they experience, stress, joy, happiness, but they don't have a reason behind it. They're just responding to some kind of stimulus, where we usually try to reason what we're doing, find a reason for what we're doing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Chris Mo is asking, do you ever talk with non-mammals?
They don't pay well. No, not really. Non-mammals. So, not really. And most of my work is with mammals.
Okay. I want to ask you a question because, and we'll get back to more audience questions here in a few minutes, but I want to ask you a question about ghosts, spirits, aliens, whatever it may be, Dogman, Bigfoot, and their relationship with animals. So, for instance, I know that, and I'm very open about this, I'm an ET abductee. And yet, I've always heard that dogs react, and even cats react, to when there's the potential of extraterrestrials in the house. So I'm wondering, for my pets, if I got aliens, I never hear the dogs bark. I never hear the cats hiss. I just know that when I come back, and sometimes I'm awake, sometimes I'm not, but when I come back, I get no reaction from my animals. Have you ever dealt with this?
I have. I've had some interaction with that myself, and that I haven't had enough experience to give you a really solid answer. I think there's just some animals that are more affected by it than others. There are some that are really sensitive to it. There's some that are really sensitive to spirits. There's some that are not. It's a crapshoot. It's just they're as individual as we are. Why are some of us psychic mediums and some of us not? Because some of us are more highly sensitive than others. We all have the ability. We can all tune in, but just some of us have practiced and worked and practiced and worked. So we have that ability, those sharpened abilities. So I can only say that I think it is just has to be how that particular animal, how sensitive that particular animal is, and what frequency they're tuned into. Because frequency, animals are all about energy and frequency. So maybe it's at a weird frequency that doesn't affect that particular pet. I'm guessing. I'm not stating facts. I'm guessing.
Okay, so do you think that they know what's going on and have just, like I can see a cat, like if there's an alien in my house or some spiritual activity, I can see the cats just kind of looking at that and go, yeah, whatever. I can see that. The dogs, dogs don't like anything in the house, so I could see them getting a little bit more rambunctious. But everything in my house is like, whatever. Who cares? Really, this again?
You've desensitized them.
Oh, thank you.
You got too much craziness going on there. So, that it's true. If you're around it a lot, if it's kind of common, then they're not going to react as much. If it doesn't happen very often and all of a sudden you've got some crazy, poltergeist or ET or something going on in your house, then someone's going to hit the alarm button. But maybe they're just used to it. And maybe it's also, too, Dave, the way you respond to it. Let's face it, our pets are our barometers of us. So if you are freaking out, they'll be more likely to freak out. If you're handling it okay, then they're going to handle it okay. Most of the time.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on here. Greco lives in Toronto, makes a great baklava at his restaurant there. He is asking, in Greece, we let the dogs and cats roam free. How do we talk to them when they aren't even in our homes?
Wow, they let all the dogs and cats roam free over there?
News to me.
Well, yeah. I practice and conduct my communication sessions by using a photograph of the animal. It's how I train myself. It's how I train my clients. That's the way I have conducted sessions for over 24 years. So, do you need a photograph? No. Is it helpful? Yes. It helps you pinpoint and focus your attention. So all you have to do is set your intention. If you don't have a photo, if the animal isn't present, you just set your intention of the animal you want to communicate with. It's the same as setting your intention that you're going to get up in the morning and go to the beach or go to the mountains. If you wake up and set your intention to go to the beach, you end up at the beach. It's the same with animal communication. You set your intention to communicate with a certain animal, you communicate with that animal. It's the same thing.
I agree. And Cedric has a question about long-distance Reiki to heal animals. And I got to say this from personal experience in watching my dog who's no longer with us. But my little Zero, she absolutely loved Reiki. And it would literally knock her out after she got a Reiki session. It would literally knock her out for like 2 hours. She was just so relaxed and so chill. So I totally believe that animals can feel the effects very positively of Reiki. How about you, Karen? As we got about 20 seconds.
Absolutely. And I have yet to communicate with an animal that didn't absolutely love it. Now, Reiki comes in just like a radio. You turn up the volume, turn down the volume, and some animals can't take as much if the volume is turned up. So they're all very open to it. It depends on the level in which you send it. So you might have to adjust the level.
Absolutely. Karen Anderson is our guest tonight. Animal communication. Your questions. More on pets, farm animals. Let's find out who Karen's talking to in the pet world on Spaced Out Radio. All right. right. There we go. Hold on. Harlan, no, my German Shepherds did not die. My little Chihuahua Dachshund died about a year and a half ago. She went out happy. She had a heart attack while eating a hot dog.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
sorry.
Oh, you know what? I cried when she died because I loved her. But I could just tell that she went out happy. I mean, she loved hot dogs. You know, she absolutely loved hot dogs. And so I gained a lot of solace knowing that there was one thing she loved, a couple things in life she loved. She loved to cuddle and she loved human food. And so when it came to hot dogs, oh, she was game. That was a treat, you know, and we knew she had been her health had been going down. Like, you know, a couple months previous, she had stopped being able to climb up the stairs, so we had to pick her up. My Chihuahua's name was Zero. Zero Peterman was her name. I give my dogs last names too.
That's great.
So I have I had Doug Stevenson, Zero Peterman, and Shadow Carpenter. Yeah.
I love it. Those are great names. I morph names, but I don't give them last names, but the name will morph.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just, I think it's just fun. Usually I'll come up with a first name and then it takes me a while to come up with a catchy last name. You know, but yeah, so when she died, I know she died happy. I mean, why wouldn't she? She had a hot dog, right? So.
Right.
You know, I almost had her back with CPR. I almost had her back. But after I gave her CPR, I found out that there was a piece of a hot dog that was blocking her larynx. So I had to dig that out, and by the time I got that out and started CPR again, it was just too late.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm not, you know what? I'm not disappointed. I got 10 beautiful years out of her, and, you know, there were a couple hard parts. What was weird, though, was that first night that she was gone, because she slept on our bed. That first night when she was gone, I actually got her to move. When I crawled into bed after the show that night, I actually had to ask her to move over because she was lying in my spot.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Really super cool. And, you know, I just love that you're honoring the fact that you had that time with her. I love that because, you know, it's precious. The time we have with them is precious, even if you only have them for a short time.
Yeah.
It's just so special, even if it's just a short time. But
yeah,
what a great story. I love that.
Yeah, we get ripped off with dogs. We really do.
Yeah.
You know, you know what? One of my first questions to God when I finally go through the pearly gates is going to be, you know, why did you make dogs' lives so short?
Right.
You know, I think we totally get ripped off. You know, I remember I had this beautiful dog. I named him Abe after, you know, good Mennonite name. And he was a German Shepherd, Husky Lab cross. I never had to leash him, ever. You know, he was just the perfect dog. And after he died, he actually came to me in a vision where he showed me that he is waiting for me on the other side. And the vision I got was he used to love to go fishing with me. And the vision he gave me was him sitting on the sun is going down in front of us. He's sitting on the beach watching me fly fish into a lake. Honestly,
wow.
Yeah, it was completely vivid. And and I had that vision from him probably 9 or 10 times. And so I totally am looking forward to that, to taking him fishing again.
So that vision, that vivid vision that you had, that's what it's like to get a message. That's what
Yes.
I received. So that's exactly what I do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. We got 20 seconds left. Big thank you to Bob Acrylic, Murray Fisher, and Cat Chaser for the super chats. And best way to support this show, give us a subscribe, hit that thumbs up. Do a little shopping at facebook.com/the SOR Vault for your spaced out radio swag today. Let's get this done. Here we go. We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dave Scott. Appreciate each and every one of you being here with us. Want to remind you that if you missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including Rockin' Out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. Animal Communicator Karen Anderson is with us tonight. She's one of the best in the country and around North America when it comes to communicating with your pets. And she can be found all over Google, all over YouTube, all over social media because she is that popular. Karen, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Welcome. All right. You have this beautiful picture of you and your horse. And that horse, I don't know how old she is, but looks very tall, very proud, very stoic, and she knows she is beautiful. How do farm animals compare to domestic pets that we have living in our house?
Well, you were correct on your description of her. So I think you're after my job secretly. You just haven't come out and fessed up yet. So great job.
Thank you.
Picking up on that's Rainey. She is my Rainey Ruth. And she is, we call them farm animals, livestock, domesticated livestock, but they're as tuned in to us as a dog or a cat or somebody that lives in the house with us. Obviously, you are a walking encyclopedia of your life. So within your body, within your energy, you have layers upon layers of all of your experiences from when you were a very young baby all the way up until present time. So when you go out and ride your horse and you share space, everything about your life can be shared with that horse because you are like an open book. You're a walking encyclopedia of who you are, where you've been, what you've done, and they can pick up on all those things. Now remember, they tune out about 90% of what goes through our mind because it's jibber-jabber to them and it doesn't include them or affect them, but they do tune into certain things. There are specific, I don't know if you want to call it things that they're interested in us, but they can pick up on very small intricacies. I have a client right now who's taking my online course for animal communication, and he just checked in with Rainey. All he had was her picture, and he said to me, she's telling me that she likes these little hard brown pieces of food. And he's thinking, don't horses eat hay? What is this little hard brown pieces of food? Well, I've got Rainey on a pellet right now because during the wintertime here in eastern Washington, I have to keep weight on my horses. So she gets this pelleted feed, and it is exactly that. It is a little brown, it looks like rabbit food, but it's brown. It's got oats and molasses and all this good stuff. So here this client of mine is living in a completely different area, just has a picture of her, and she's able to convey to him what her feed looks like and the color. So when animals are alive and well, they are very much about their number one favorite topic is themselves. They talk about their life, their favorite things, what they like to do. When they pass away, they become more philosophical. So when they're here in physical with us, it's more, the answers that they give you are more about their day-to-day life. So it makes sense to me that Rainey would talk about her food, because horses are very food motivated. She really likes this food, so she's going to talk about that food. But when they pass away, that's where everything shifts and changes. And they become almost an expansion of you. So now they can connect with all of your consciousness, everyone that you've connected with throughout your life. They can meet up with everyone that you've connected with in your life. And it's like things just become limitless. So there's a whole area here that we haven't even touched on tonight, and that is the afterlife side of things. But domestic livestock, they're no different than our pets. It's just that obviously they're going to be more motivated around things that happen in their daily life. They can pick up on other things, but it's going to be more about their daily life.
Okay, so if you have a pet that lives in a barn that maybe isn't heated, and it's there with a number of other animals, maybe it's chickens, maybe it's horses and pigs and cows and lambs and sheep, I look at it and think that would be just a living hell for an animal, because you can't control your neighbors. Do they get pissed off about their neighbors that make too much noise, or always whining or complaining, or won't sleep at night, or the rooster getting up too early in the morning, or the mice and rats running through the barns in the middle of the night? Because that would piss me off.
No, they generally don't complain about things like that. In general, animals are very grateful. They're very grateful to be alive. They're very grateful to be in good health. They're very appreciative of what they have. And it's really the human animal that does all the complaining.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if there's somebody that they really don't like, they really don't get along with, I might hear about that, the typical kind of, I don't like this one, or I don't like hanging out with that one. But generally speaking, pets are way more grateful than humans, way more grateful.
See, and I could see horses, though, having attitude. I mean, I see some of these gorgeous horses that are bred for everything from showing, the Lippers on their stallions, or Clydesdales, or my favorite, the big Belgians. Oh, I love those. There's a team of them.
Love those.
Yeah, there's a team of them that are about 4 miles away from me, and I cannot wait to get property so I can somehow sneak a couple of those on my property. But the whole point that I'm getting at is, I look at horses, I mean, with their long manes and the way they take care of themselves, they always look in shape. I could see some horses just having a real attitude, kind of like, really, you think you can come up to me and have the audacity to talk to me? Do you know who I am? I could totally see that with horses.
Oh, boy, I sure haven't had that experience. Most animals are so excited to be able to talk to someone who's really going to listen to them. It's an outlet. It's like, let's say you're having a really bad time, like you had mentioned at the start of the show, that you were feeling kind of depressed and down, and sometimes you just want to share and express your feelings with someone. They haven't really changed your situation, but you just feel better because you talked to them about whatever it is that was bothering you.
Right.
The animals feel that way. They feel so misunderstood. They feel so underappreciated sometimes, because we tend to humanize our pets. And when we humanize them, and I'm guilty, I am just as guilty as the next person, but when we humanize them, we don't honor the animal that they are. We're not providing for them as the animal that they truly are, and really tuning into their needs. In animal communication, we're listening. We're really paying attention. We're acknowledging what they're saying. We're letting them know that we're going to pass their message along to their human so that they can be heard. That's huge. Who wouldn't want to be heard?
Very true. But it also leads to the question that I have in regards to reincarnation, because there's a lot of religions, namely the Hindu religion, that believes that reincarnation is very real and you can come back as a horse or a dog or a butterfly or a carp fish or an eagle, whatever you can come back at, or a flower or a tree. So, in any of these animals that you have dealt with, have you ever had one that says, I was a human in a previous life?
Yes, I've had that happen. It's very rare. Just to give you, to kind of set the record straight, I'm speaking from my personal experience. I'm not saying this is the final answer. I'm saying from my personal experience, I found it to be very rare that an animal reincarnates as human or vice versa. And if it's in the highest and best interest for that soul and that soul's progression, I think anything's possible.
Okay, so that experience where you had an animal say that they were a human in their previous lives, could you go into detail about that? Do you feel comfortable doing that?
I can, but it's very hard to validate. And that's the thing about doing reincarnation, asking about reincarnation, how do you validate it? And most of my work is validated because the client on the phone understands and what I'm telling them resonates with something that happened or that they can verify. So that's evidential mediumship there. If there's something, they can pinpoint exactly the moment, the day, the incident that I'm talking about or describing. In reincarnation, we can't do that. But I will share with you that in the instances where I've conducted a session, and I have to date conducted over 22,000 sessions. So in that time of those sessions, I've only had a handful of them that have come through and shown me a past life. And the past life images are fleeting, and usually it's something very much like in a war or struggle type of situation. I very rarely see any kind of past life reference where an animal has been human that has shown me like living like a king or royalty. It's usually some kind of war, some kind of battle, or some kind of struggle. There's a challenge. There's a very violent ending to their life. There's something really not, it's not glamorous. It is a difficult life or a challenging life. It's flashes of going to war horses, and then you see a soldier battling. There's a lot of pain involved with the images that you see. It's not sunshine and rainbows and butterflies. It's very kind of horrific scenes, if you will.
Okay, so if we go back to, say, the 17th, 18th, 19th, and early 20th century, where horses were still used as part of the battlefield and as part of weaponry in war, are they able to reincarnate as another horse?
I absolutely think that's the main way that they come back. So dogs usually come back as dogs, cats come back as cats, horses, people. That's the main or the primary way that they will reincarnate is back the way they were in this last lifetime. But like I said, there are exceptions to every rule, and there is no rule book to reincarnation. There's no one standing there with a reincarnation checklist and saying, oh, you're a horse, you got to come back as a horse, or you're a dog, you got to come back as a dog. No. Again, it's for the highest and best for that soul's progression. But generally speaking, when I have done any kind of reincarnation questions during my sessions, it is usually same species.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Karen Anderson is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking animal communication. Karen, farm animals, the way they communicate comparatively to house animals, are they, house animals tend to get a little bit more attention from their humans. How does that affect farm animals differently?
As far as how they communicate?
Well, with
or what
the
they know?
attention, like, do they feel snubbed, ripped off?
With the attention. I would have to say that most of the time, again, speaking in general terms here, because every animal is different, but most of the time, the animals that I communicate with are very loved, very honored, very appreciated. Their humans are paying big bucks to have me connect with their pets. So this animal is really being catered to. So I don't feel a sense of snubbing. I don't feel a sense of, hey, the dog gets more attention than I do, and I'm just the horse or the cow or whatever I am. I don't get that. I just feel the bond that they have with their human, that powerful bond. I feel the love, and they really are so good about being in the moment, unlike humans where we're 2 weeks from now or we're a month ago. We're never just right in the moment, enjoying breathing and living and being here right now. And especially livestock, they're just grateful. They're grateful to have the life that they have and to have someone that cares for them. So I don't get that feeling of being snubbed or being shown less affection. I haven't picked up on that. I haven't sensed that.
Okay. So when you're dealing with farm animals and the way they talk, do they have the same issues that, say, a house cat would or a family dog would?
It's similar. So I mostly work with horses of all the different types of livestock. Horses are one of my most common sessions that I have. So I'm speaking mainly from horses. And generally speaking, I'm dealing with things like behavioral issues, or somebody's not, doing what they're supposed to do in the arena. I've worked with racehorses before that were supposed to be, winning, and they weren't, and trying to find out, what they needed to be a winning racehorse. There's all kinds of issues that come through. So they're very different issues because obviously livestock, we're asking them to do very different things than we're asking a domesticated pet to do.
Okay, I got to ask you about counseling a racehorse.
Okay.
What is that like?
Well, it's very powerful if you can imagine what a horse is capable of doing just in their physical body. So when you connect with a horse, you have to really respect their energy and the fact that they are so highly sensitive. Horses are one of the most sensitive creatures on this planet. And if you think about it, Dave, they can feel a mosquito land on their flank. So here you have this, 1,200, 1,300 pound animal, and yet it's so sensitive it can feel a mosquito. So here we come along, these bumbling, fumbling humans. We throw all of this leather and all of these saddles and blankets and bridles and bits, and we hook them all up to this horse, and we throw our bodies up on their back, and we start asking them to do all these things. Our weight is shifting in the saddle, our brains are doing one thing, our bodies are doing something else. The biggest thing that I hear from horses is the confusing and conflicting messages. They don't understand what their person wants, and they're sharing that frustration with me. So that's really common. And then the next common thing is just working on, just like I said, racehorses that are not winning, and what do they need to win? And boy, that can be so many different things. The jockey, it could be the tack, it could be the horse that's next to them in the gate, it could be the sound of the bells going off, the people in the crowd. Again, there's so many things that could be affecting them. You just never know. It's like peeling back the layers and figuring out what's going on with them.
What signs do we miss from pets? For instance, if they, I noticed that if I'm feeling ill, my one dog will come up and always make sure I'm okay, cuddle with me. Doug, he doesn't care. He doesn't care at all. But when my little one was alive, the minute I was sick, she wouldn't leave my side. All right? If one of my kids was sick, she wouldn't leave their sides. cats are the same way. They're very good with that, in trying to keep us warm and help. Are pets naturally healers, and is that a job they enjoy, for lack of a better term, their master?
I know. I like to think that they are here to help us through some of our most difficult times. And I'm speaking from experience here. If it hadn't been for my pets, my animals, I don't know that I would have gotten through some of the stuff that I have been through. And I'm sure those who are listening can agree that they really are here to help us on so many different levels. They're here to help us really remember to live in the moment and to be present and to appreciate what we have. They're here to help us with our physical challenges, our pain. I become a human cat tree when I'm sick, because all my cats want to glom on me. It's like they want to just take the sick right out of me. And they do. They snuggle with you. They come to you. They cuddle with you. It's like they want to take that away from you. They may not understand it on a bigger scale of exactly what's going on, but they sense that something's off in your energy. And animals are all about balance. Animals want to be balanced. And I think we as humans are very unbalanced. We don't know how to balance ourselves. Like, we don't even know how to stay off, our phones or our computers. We live a life now that is really out of balance. And animals bring that balance back to us. And I think that is the great part of having them. How crazy would I be right now if I didn't have pets in my life? I'd probably a total whack job crazy woman. They keep me sane. They keep me focused. They keep me taking care of the day-to-day needs and being present with them in the moment, to play with them, to love them, to cuddle with them, to feed them, to medicate them. They're the best thing we have going for us.
Okay. Let's get to Corey's question here. Corey is asking, have you ever caught a horse singing any type of songs, or any animals for that part singing songs?
Songs? No, but I've had them sing songs to me. I've had animals, like if they're human especially, sing a little song to them. I've had that animal sing that song to me. Like I have a Rainy Roo song I sing to my horse. I'm not going to sing it for you. But he can sing that song to somebody that's communicating with her. So no, I haven't tried to do that, but they've shared that with me. Absolutely.
What did they sing to you? Little Neil Diamond? Maybe some Barry White?
No. They love it when we have a nickname for them. They love their nicknames more than their, whatever registered name. Because a nickname is, we say it with love. It's filled with love. So if you have a little, funny little "You Are My Sunshine," or if you sing a little funny song to your pet, they love that because it's filled with love.
Well, I can tell you this, my one dog, Shadow, he's obviously a metalhead, because when my son goes into his room and hammers on his guitar, Shadow lays right down on the floor and he's just taking it all in. I think he's a metalhead. I think he likes Pantera. I do.
I don't even know who that is. That shows you how out of it I am. I'm sorry. I don't know who that is.
Heavy metal.
Oh, okay.
Lots
all
of
right.
guitar, heavy metal. That's I don't know. My son's a metalhead. What can I say?
Okay. Well, I'm a John Denver fan from way back. That's why I ended up in Colorado, because I wanted to live in the Rocky Mountains like John Denver.
Well, I don't blame you for that. You just don't want to go flying with them. That's a whole different story.
Exactly.
Different story. Karen, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because this is a show that is flying on by, and we have Karen Anderson here, Animal Communicator, for another 30 minutes on Spaced Out Radio before we are going to hook up with Vancouver, go right across Canada on the shift, talk about some aliens and ET contact, and then we'll get to the SOR Newswire and the Thought of the Day, a jam-packed third hour of Spaced Out Radio coming up right after this. All right, we're back. I'm just going to run my dogs outside. I'll be right back.
Okay.
This is Ryan Stacy from the Experiencer Support Association, otherwise known as TESSA. We're glad to team up with Spaced Out Radio to help investigate your experiences on the SOR Sightline Report. Together, we'll investigate the strange sightings and occurrences you've had. We're looking for answers just like you. So fill out a Sightlines report on the Spaced Out Radio website and let's figure out what's going on together.
Looking for creative ways to get your company out in the public? How about advertising on Spaced Out Radio? Our sales department is waiting to hear from you, and we can work around any budget. From commercial spots to banners to special promotions, there are many opportunities to get your name and product out to our SOR listeners. For a price guide and more information, please contact us at sales@spacedoutradio.com.
We're adding to the entertainment online for Spaced Out Radio. I'm Amber Beckrud, and I want to invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out Cryptid Tales, where I will take you on a journey into some of the strangest legends and lore from around the world, relaying the stories to you of the strange creatures and experiences that people have had throughout time. You can find Cryptid Tales at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio, and while you're there, don't forget to check out our free archives and leave a comment. See you there.
Hey, space travelers, this is John Resig, founder of the Tribe and Tribe Charities. If you know anything about our website, you know we like to do things a little different. We're not some faceless organization collecting money for a nebulous cause. Our donor dollars go directly toward life-improving items. Then we give those items directly to an underdog who needs it most. To become a donor with Spaced Out Radio's official charity, Tribe Charities, just go to tribecharities.org/donate.
The SOR Vault is open for business, and we have some cool swag for you to pick up. All you have to do is head over to our website and click on the SOR Vault. You have a variety of cool logos to choose from, and put them on anything you want. T-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, you name it, we can get it to you. So do your shopping by supporting the story you love. Get your Spaced Out Radio swag at the SOR Vault today.
For the price of 1 cup of coffee a month, you can become an SOR Space Traveler. The Space Travelers Club is a place where you can interact with other listeners, either live during the show or on our great forum. We want your stories, pictures, comments, and ideas. You'll get live video streams, exclusive content, and be a part of our newsletter. Stay in touch with everything SOR. The Space Travelers Club is just $5 a month at spacedoutradio.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hello, Space Travelers. It's me again, Carl. Don't forget to join the Space Travelers Club for just $5 a month. And follow Spaced Out Radio on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio. Our Instagram, Dave Scott SOR. Our Facebook page is Spaced Out Radio Show. Our archives are free at YouTube.
All right, I'm back.
Me too.
Awesome. Awesome. There we go. Had to adjust the hair. It's all good. Hi, Pyramid. Good to have you here. Apparently, Pyramid says he's not wearing pants tomorrow, and that's final. Good for you. Good for you. Thanks, Mere Person. Good to have you. This is fun, Karen. Very fun tonight.
Yeah, it is. I love this. We should do this more often.
Yes, we should. Totally. Corn's the booking guy. I know you heard that. All right, we've got about a minute and a half here. All right. I will get to your question when we come back, Bomber. I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you for being here tonight. How many acres do you have?
30.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice. That's a good chunk of property.
Yep, the trees are about 80 to 100 feet tall all around me, so I can't see anybody.
You ever hug one of those trees just to see the energy that comes off of it?
Oh, I'm a tree hugger from way back.
Yeah. Hugging, I never really believed it, but seriously, hugging a tree has the most epic power. It does. It really has epic power.
Yes, it does.
Yes, I never knew that until I tried it. Big thank you once again to Bob Murray and Cat Chaser for the super chats tonight. Thank you to all our new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who's given us a thumbs up. And we're going to return right now.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Here we go with the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. Thank you so much for tuning us in. My name is Dave Scott. Appreciate earning your listening ears. We welcome back everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on KPNL, TalkStream Live, and Revolution Radio. Remember, you can check out all of our archives for free by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old Davey the favor, hit that subscribe button. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Obtenebrit. Obtenebrit is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. Follow us on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show. For the final time tonight, we introduce one of our favorite guests, Karen Anderson. She is an animal communicator on a psychic level. What is it like to talk with our household pets on a daily basis? What are they thinking? What are they doing? Why are they doing what they do and acting the way they act? Well, Karen knows because she's been doing this a pretty long time with success. Karen, welcome back.
An interesting question, because when I connect with a pet and try to find out why they're doing something, why they're not doing something, the common denominator is you and me. It comes back to what we do, what we provide to them, what we think. Our thoughts are real to them. So if you are a generally happy person, a balanced person, and you have a lot of love in your life, your pets will generally reflect that same energy back to me. If you have a lot of turmoil in your life, if you're going through a difficult time, if there's stress, if there's financial issues, if there's relationship issues, then the pets will generally reflect back to me some kind of stress, and that's where behavior issues and health issues begin. It is when we lose our balance, it's when we become out of balance, our pets become out of balance, and that's like a domino effect, basically.
I want to get to Bomber's question here because, you know, we love Sasquatch around here. It's one of those things that we do. You know, it makes us feel a little important. Have you ever communicated with a Sasquatch? She is asking.
No, darn it. Can somebody give me a clear picture of a Sasquatch so I can see the eyes if I can see the eyes, I can connect. I can't use blurry pictures. That doesn't work. I connect through the eyes. The windows are the eyes to the soul. I got to have a clear picture. If somebody can give me a clear picture, I would love, love, love to connect. Now, it's going to be difficult to verify and validate whatever they tell us, right? I mean, how are we going to be able to validate it? It's not like there's a, Sasquatch rule book somewhere that we could go to chapter 7 and look up something they told us. So, it kind of leaves it wide open for what they might say. But if I can connect with an animal, if I can connect with departed humans, if I can connect with people who are in a coma or Alzheimer's or dementia patients, then wouldn't it make sense that I would be able to connect with a Sasquatch? I think so.
Well, we'd like to see you try. We're betting on it. We're betting on it.
Just one clear picture.
We just got to take... Okay, let me ask you this. Could you not pick up the energy off a footprint?
I don't work with footprints, Dave. I work with...
I know. I know.
That's my fear. I'm not a footprint psychic.
Okay. All right, we're just trying to help. Feel shame
It's
now.
a good thought. It's a good thought.
Feel shame now. Feel shame.
I have been challenged just with that same question, like what would they say? What would it relay? I have a feeling if I connected with a Sasquatch that it would be very cryptic, right? Mm-hmm. It would be very philosophical, and there would probably be some kind of symbolism or analogies or something along those lines. That's just my guess, if I were to guess what a Sasquatch would say. I do not know. Have not connected with one. I don't consider myself a Sasquatch expert, but I will tell you that I had an experience before I became an animal communicator, many, many decades before, that I do believe that there was a possible Sasquatch because I've never been so scared before in my entire life. So,
wait until you hear them talking.
Right? I mean, is it going to be like a booming voice? Is it going to be a high, squeaky,
we heard,
Minnie Mouse?
We heard right in the middle of the forest a couple of years ago, twice, we heard one talking to us. And if you listen to Ronald Moorhead's Sierra Sounds out of California, that's exactly what we heard. Not the whooping and the screaming, but that's kind of what it sounds like.
Okay, and I've heard that. It's kind of like a babbling, mumbling kind of thing. I've heard those sound clips before. But that to me, if I heard that, that's gibberish. I wouldn't be able to understand it. I'd have to connect the way I connect with pets and departed people, and that's just my method. That's my MO. That's what I do.
Yeah, I would be thrilled. I would be thrilled.
I would love it. Has anybody out there claimed to? I don't even know. Has anybody claimed to have communicated with a Sasquatch?
I know that I heard them talking. That's all I will say. I've heard them talking.
I know they talk. I know they have a language. I know they talk to each other. I know they have sounds. I know they're extremely intelligent and capable of, thinking and reasoning and, all kinds of things. So, yeah, there's intelligence there. I just wondered if anyone has claimed that they have communicated with them.
Not me. I'm out. Yeah. I'm just throwing my deck of cards. I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, I would say it's possible. Why not? I had a cat tell me about a pink bra one time. I mean, come on.
Very true. Very true. Now, what about birds? Pet birds, parrots, parakeets, whatever. How are birds to react?
Well, they are extremely consuming of their human. Like they want to kind of rule the human. They want to control the human. Most of them. Some of them no, but most of them want a lot of attention. They're not getting enough attention. They're bored out of their minds, and they really want to kind of take over the household.
Really? It's kind of arrogant.
Yeah. The ones I've chatted with. Remember, these are the ones I've chatted with. I'm not putting a blanket policy over every bird that's out there. But, yes, very demanding and very much bored. So bored. I mean, just think if you were a bird and you couldn't fly anymore.
Yeah, that would suck.
How would you feel?
Yeah, that would suck. What about and I realize you don't deal a lot with rodents, but we do have a lot of pet rodents out there, whether it's gerbils, mice, guinea pigs. Are they different? Do you even bother trying?
I have in the past communicated with a hedgehog. I don't know if that's considered a rodent. I don't think so, but that's probably the closest I've gotten to that part of the animal kingdom. And they're, again, very much about themselves and their life and what they're doing or what's around them or what's surrounding them. They don't comprehend or understand bigger issues. They're very limited on, it's just their little life, their little circle around them. That's it.
All right. Why have you tried, or at least to this point, stayed away from wild animals?
Well, it's not that I stay away from them. It's just that my work consists of helping people with their pets. And most people don't have wild animals as pets.
No,
so
but you live in the wilderness. You live in the wilderness, so obviously in your area you would have deer, you would have maybe elk or caribou, maybe moose, bears, cougars, lynx, bobcats, maybe. You would have a real gamut of wild animals surrounding you. Have you ever maybe been sitting on your porch or standing in your yard and all of a sudden, a bear walks by and does he all of a sudden say, "Oh, hey, Karen, how you doing? How was your coffee this morning?"
Not quite. It doesn't quite happen that way. Generally speaking, the animals that walk through this yard, I've got turkeys, deer, and there's a few coyotes, but I really don't want the coyotes around, so the message to them is, don't you dare come around. I don't want those coyotes around. So the messages that I've been able to share have mostly been with the deer because they're in my yard every night. They were in my yard tonight. And they're actually extremely intelligent. It's all about survival to them. And again, it's what's going on in their world, in their life. It's not like they can tell me who the new president is. They don't have that kind of knowledge. They don't care. It doesn't matter to them. So they're going to talk to me about what's going on with them and, things like survival, food, eating, water, safety, protection, those sort of things. They'll sometimes share a feeling of happiness or joy. They'll share a feeling of stress. But it's not the same level as what I would get from somebody's pet, where a pet could really explain something to me. It's not like that. It's very much, as you would imagine, a wild animal would be very cautious and very untrusting of humans.
Right. But there's
So
but is there not a level of respect? And I'll give you an example. All right. I was one night after the show, I was walking through my carport, wanted to go stare up at the stars because it was a clear night, and it was fall. And in my backyard, there it is very dark at night, very dark, and I can't see 40, 50 feet in front because it's just dark out. We don't have lights. And I got growled at by a cougar. Couldn't see it, but he gave me a nice growl to let me know that he was there. And I just,
oh my God.
and I literally, I put my hand up, just kind of like a wave. I said, "Oh, hey, how are you?" I said, "I'm walking over to the door right now. You got your path. I got mine. Don't worry. I'm not coming any further. I'll be standing in the light." Because I was trying, stupid me. I want to get a look at this cat because I love cats. I like big cats. And I never heard him, and he just continued on his path. But it was kind of like, okay, he gave me the warning. He saw with my body reaction that I heeded the warning out of respect, and that it was like, okay, I don't have to bother this guy. He's not going to bother me, and let's just continue on my night looking for rabbits or house cats that are prowling around or little dogs or whatever, whatever he was after. So I do believe that there is more to this communication than what we actually give it credit for.
Well, I thank you for that, because there is. And, you're putting a signal out there. You're putting an energetic imprint out there. And that's what they pick up on. That's how they relate to each other. If you know anything about animal behavior, you know that there's body language, that there's some unspoken language that's happening between two animals within species, different species, same species, doesn't matter. There's an exchange of energy there. There's messages being sent back and forth. And a lot of what we see, like in the nature programs and stuff, there's a lot of survival kind of messages being sent back and forth. But if you truly pay attention to like what you just said there, yes, there is a definite message going out, and you can relay that message if you're clear, if you are in alignment. Your thoughts, your words, and your body have to all be in alignment, saying the same thing. And if you can do that in a calm way, you can send a very clear message. And that's exactly what I do. I mean, that's how this works. It's an energetic imprint that they are able to pick up on. Just like in your dreams, you have these dreams where you're communicating with somebody in your dream. You're not talking out loud. This is a telepathic, mind-to-mind communication between you and whoever is in your dream. It could be a family member. It could be a pet. It could be a neighbor, a coworker, but you're having this energetic conversation, and it's very real. So that's what it's like. It feels just like that.
This is awesome. Karen Anderson is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Are there any animals out there that you would not want to try and communicate with?
I don't think so. I can't think of any I really wouldn't want to. I think each one I could learn something from. I was thinking, what can I learn from this? What can I take away from this? Especially, like, I'll give you for instance, a lot of people are afraid of snakes. I'm not, but a lot of people are fearful.
You can have them.
Snakes.
You can have them.
See? And I truly feel that, if you understand the animal, you don't fear it as much, or you fear it less if you understand it. Well, I was communicating one time with a snake, and I was actually at the gym, and I was on the elliptical machine, and one of the people at the gym knew that I could talk to animals, so he went out across the street where he lived, his apartment, got his pet snake, brought it into the gym, and he's standing there next to me saying, hey, can you communicate with my snake in the gym? And so I said, well, yeah, but this really isn't the best place to do that. So we kind of went off into this little area, and I opened up the snake's energy, and I got this incredible message. I'll never forget this. This happened many, many years ago. This snake was totally calm, and there's all this craziness going on around us. And the snake said to me, what is this thing you humans call fear? I don't understand this thing you call fear. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to respond to that. It just caught me so off guard. I wasn't expecting it. It was questioning me. The snake was questioning me, not in a mean way, in a very calm way.
I would have responded. I would have responded with blame Eve.
How do you explain something that big? You know, I mean, that was really, to me, that was really powerful. What is this thing you humans call fear? I don't understand this thing you call fear. Like, wow, how do you explain that? I don't know. I found myself trying to defend humans who don't understand the beauty of what they are, and so humans tend, what they don't understand, they tend to fear it. Just like animal communication. If you don't understand it, there's a fear or there's something, a block that you put up, and so immediately it's bad. I don't understand it, so therefore it's bad. That's like a human thing that we do. So I was trying to explain to the snake that that's what fear is. It's a block. It's something that somebody doesn't want to open up to or wrap their head around. I didn't know how else to explain that.
We've only got about 2.5 minutes left with you tonight, and this is a show that is once again flown on by, and you were absolutely amazing in your explanations and everything, Karen, and we really do appreciate you opening us up to animal communication. How can people get a hold of you or learn more about how to communicate with their own animals?
Well, the easiest way to find me is my website. It's very simple, KarenAnderson.net, and on there you have access to my Facebook. I have a practice group where you can learn with others who are beginners. We do free weekly trainings. I have an online course if you're even more motivated, and for those who are super duper really roll up their sleeves and ready to dive in and actively communicating and want to launch their business like I did, I have private coaching. So that is definitely the best way. I also have a mobile app. You can download my mobile app off my website, and you can get animal communication tips, afterlife information, and all kinds of pet loss support through my mobile app as well.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And, you know, for you in 2020, about to come to a close and entering to 2021, what's your goals for the new year regarding pet communication?
Well, I have another book I'm working on. So I have 2 books out right now, The Amazing Afterlife of Animals and Here Are All Creatures. They're on Amazon. They're on Audible, or you can get them through my website at KarenAnderson.net. And if I can really put my goal out there, I'd like to get my 3rd book published, and it's going to be more afterlife stories of what the animals share from the other side. So that would be my really super duper big goal. And just to put a little frosting on the cake, I would hope to someday have a radio show and be as successful of a host as you are.
Oh, you're way too kind. Way too kind. Thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. And Karen, we're going to do this very soon. I know Corin's the booking guy. We'll make sure that happens. But all the best to you going over the holiday season, and to you, your family, all of your animals. And we'll talk to you in 2021.
Thank you so much, and all the best to you and all of your listeners, too. You guys are awesome.
You hold on. We're going to send this off to break here. Karen Anderson, everyone. Make sure you check her out. She's all over social media and the internet. Coming up next, we're going to hook up with Shane and the shift going right across Canada. We got the thought of the Dave. We got the news wire, a jam-packed final half hour coming up right after this. Great job, Karen.
Thank you.
We'll give you a few claps.
I just want you to know it is so far past my bedtime, and I would only do this for you.
Thank you.
Because I am just so grateful for this opportunity to come on and blah, blah, blah to your listeners. Thank you for letting me do that.
Oh, you were amazing. We will do it again very soon. You take care. We love you, and thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Okay, I love you too. Adios. Bye-bye.
Good night. Isn't she just a sweetheart? Honestly. I'd like to take her into the forest to see her pick up something from Bigfoot. I would. Ow. Ow. Yes. I think it's fun. I think it's real good fun. Thanks, Carolyn. I know that my Skype is going to ring here in a minute. Hey, Duke, how you doing, man? Welcome back. Excuse me. I'm tired. Getting tired of the beard. Although I like this part. Because it makes me feel manly to go, Oh, Brett Lewis has a crush. Brett Lewis has a crush there on Karen Anderson. I don't blame him. Oh, there's Vancouver. Hey, Vancouver.
Hey, Dave Scott, Spaced Out Radio. How are you doing tonight?
Good. Say hello to my audience.
Hi, audience. Hi, spaceheads, or whatever Dave calls you guys.
They're just a bunch of weirdos. That's what I call them. They're good weirdos, though. They're good weirdos.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely the best kind of weirdos, for sure.
Which way does Shane want to go tonight?
I'm not sure.
We'll just let it run. We'll just let it run like we normally do.
Okay, yeah, because I wasn't privy to any kind of topic discussion tonight, but
what a jerk! What a jerk!
Yeah, no, I thought I would have thought somebody would have gotten in touch with you. Did
no.
Ryan not get in touch with you?
Oh yeah, we talked over email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Well, I guess we'll figure that out then.
Sure.
All right, but in case I'm away next week, so in case I don't chat with you before then, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, my friend, and we appreciate you and everything you guys do on bringing us on every week, man. It's pretty awesome, and I love being a part of it.
Yeah, no, and we love being a part of it too. Love to have you, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll link up at 36, and we will chat very shortly.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
Kidney car program.
Well, good old Vancouver, right there. Good old Vancouver. Gotta love them Vancouverites. Mm-hmm. Do-do-do. That's right, Philip, captain of the good ship Weirdo. Taking you all with me. You're all my passengers. Although we're only sailing on land, because that way no bloody sharks can get us. Works for me. Works for me. All right. Like 50. Oh, good. Where'd that yawn come from? I'm sorry. We got like 10 seconds. Facebook.com/the SOR Vault's a great place for you to get your swag, too. So make sure you get that. We've rounded third. We're heading for home tonight on Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Want to remind you that if you missed most of this show or others, check out our free archives by going to youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do me the favor, hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you, including rocking out to Bumblefoot and reading up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire. We're going to join the shift in Vancouver here, because we do this every Tuesday night, and we're going to see what's going on.
Wait and see.
There he is.
It's time to check in with Dave Scott.
The man,
what's going on
the
in
myth,
the
and
world
the
of the woo. He'll promo something.
Good old Shane, the man, the myth, and the
he's there.
legend, all rolled into
I
one.
didn't recognize you.
No, I changed
Without
my...
a promo.
Well, I styled my hair differently today, so that's probably why you didn't recognize me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Are you hiding from the Men in Black, or what's going on?
Well, trying to after this amazing story that I heard this weekend. Amazing story.
What's that?
Well, I'm part of a kind of a brand new little research company website called uapresearch.com. And the guy who put it together, a good friend of mine named Joel, he's like, I want to start doing a little mini podcast, and I want you to host it, Dave. So I'm like, yeah, okay. I said, what are we talking about? He goes, let's get deep into ET experiencers, people who've experienced the weird and strange. Maybe not the people that are real public and people who know or have had their names on maybe on the conference circuit, because believe it or not, non-woo people, there is an entire conference circuit of people telling about their alien and UFO encounters and stories. Yes, it's actually quite entertaining. You know, you go to some of these conferences, people dressed up like aliens. It's almost like a Comic-Con, man. It really is. It's fantastic. Anyways, so
Just
Joel,
some furries running around telling stories about aliens.
Hey, why not? Well, I'm going to drag you to one. I'm going to drag you to one next year.
Oh, dear God. Oh, man.
Yes. That's what I'm
I
going
hope
to
there's
do.
booze.
Of course. Of course. It's aliens, man. There's always something there.
All right.
But I met this guy.
I love it. Okay.
I interviewed this guy named Michael Martinez. He's 46 years old. Apparently, when he was growing up in Northern California, at 7 years old, I guess he had the gift of telekinesis, which was he could move things with his mind. His dad worked for the United States Air Force as a civilian contractor. His mother worked for the city. And they, typical middle-class family. And the kid was able to move things with his mind. Well, this caught the attention of some people in the Air Force. And at 7 years old, he got asked to attend. This is now going back to about 1981. Got asked to attend a secret experiment at the University of California, Berkeley. So they had a bunch of school children from different ages that were screened for various talents and subjected to some weird tests. So a couple years ago, Michael happens to be doing his own research, trying to figure out what happened to him. And he comes across this article on the MUFON website, MUFON standing for Mutual UFO Network. And here it is about a 1981 event that he took part in at UC Berkeley. and they were looking to talk with people who had information regarding this rumor that the students were taken into an auditorium and then one by one individually walked with armed security in behind a curtain to view an extraterrestrial gray alien that was standing in a cage because they wanted to see if any of these uber talented students could communicate with it.
Okay. So now, just for clarity, this is the young man, the telekinetic
Yes.
guy. He's doing research backwards in time to figure out what he was exposed to?
Yes. So he gets taken into this room, and before he goes into this room, he knows there is a young girl, probably 16 years old, who is screaming and having an absolute hissy fit, crying, saying, "Don't go in there. Don't look into its eyes," before security rushed her out of the building. So he doesn't know really what's going on. He's 7 years old. There's a gentleman walking with him behind him who has his hands on his shoulders, kind of to direct the boy where he's going. Now, his parents were not there. This was for students only on this road trip. So what happens is it's his turn to go. He goes in behind this curtain, and he stands in front of the alien a few feet. And the alien starts telepathically communicating with him, saying, "All I want to do is go home. Help me get out of here." And so the boy walked a little bit closer to the cage, young Michael, and he kind of put his arm to the cage, and he turned to the security and said, "The alien wants to go home." Well, as he had his arm to the cage, the alien rushed to the front of the cage where Michael was, grabbed a hold of his arm, and when security saw this, they actually used almost like a cattle prod to poke the alien back to get him to disconnect from Michael and push the alien back in the cage. Security then rushed Michael out of the building and right into the school bus and took him back and said, "Nothing happened here. You didn't see anything here." And that's all he recalled.
So this is the story from a long time ago. And how old was the boy when he started to look backwards into figuring it out?
Well, it's been about the last 10 years that he's really started trying to seek out answers for this. And what really triggered it was 2 years ago when he just happened to stumble on this article on the MUFON website, and there was somebody asking a question about this 1981 event. Now, when I interviewed him regarding this, which can be found on UAP Research YouTube channel, and if the easiest way is go to uapresearch.com. It's right on the cover. When I interviewed him, we had him on camera. The one thing that I kind of was suspicious of, because you have to have a level of skepticism, and I was suspicious of the fact that he didn't have much emotion. But his excuse for that was, "I'm just not an emotional guy." You know, he had a troubled childhood after that. Still to this day does not have a relationship with his parents, and everything he's had to do in life, he's had to experience the hard way. Now, what that hard way is, none of my business, and I didn't ask. I was more there for the aliens. But when you watch him explain this, and as his story is incredible because he has so much information and so many questions that he was trying to belt out at the same time that he was almost tripping over himself at times because he was the information was coming out so fast. So it's kind of amazing and that this person was touched by an ET, 3 fingers, 1 thumb, by the way, if anybody's asking. And it never left any marks, never any burns or any scars like that. And to this day, we don't know if it's true. We don't know if it's making it up. Maybe he's hallucinating. We don't know. All we can do is take him at his word because there is nobody talking about this project.
Wow, and that's amazing because you'd think that there would be more, the skepticism part kicks in where you think there would be more students that would be at least
coming forward,
reminded, right, at this point and saying, okay, well, wait a second, like I remember going to that science fair or whatever you'd want to disguise it as.
And that's
So, I mean, does
that's one of the
hit you
questions.
when you investigate that, like that kind of thing, right?
Absolutely, and you have to investigate. Look, everything we do here, as fun as these topics are, Shane, we have to take everything with a grain of salt. Unless we are there, unless there's uncanny video, unedited video, or unedited audio, we have to be able to take things with a grain of salt. All right? I mean, having someone's opinion on it is, as much as you want to believe, you have to take that step back and say, well, hold on here. This isn't, you could use the same argument. This isn't something somebody would make up, but it's exactly something somebody would make up. It's terrible. It's terrible.
How do you discern from the dreams and the nightmares versus these experiences when you investigate these things? Because that, to me, I mean, we've all had dreams of, running through a field and getting chased by a pumpkin and then tripping over a toothbrush that saves your life. Like, I mean, we've all had those weird dreams. How do you discern in those conversations where someone maybe has lost the distinction between what is reality and fantasy and what their brain is doing to trick them?
First of all, you're weird for having that. Really weird.
Hey, man, I thought we didn't judge.
I know, but hey, man, I deal with weirdos every day.
First of all,
it's all good.
You calling me weird is funny, first of all, for what you do for a living. With living in the woo all the time.
True.
Dick.
I know. You know what?
I do agree.
It's a solid question. And what you have to do, and what most investigators do, is they try and break everything down into the lowest common denominator. Okay, was there evidence? So, for instance, I remember one time I woke up with 2 large scratches on my back. No idea how they got there. They were like stutter scratches. You know when a cat scratches you on the arm, you have it almost looks like it's stuttering because it's not a clean scratch. I woke up with 2 of those, about an inch apart. Both were about 4 inches long on my back. And when I saw them in the mirror, I was like, dude, how did that even get there? I didn't go out the night before. I know the wife didn't attack me. All right? I know that it wasn't a cat that did that because I would have woken up. And
I was, if you had heard our conversation an hour ago about lot lizards, I would have said that might have have something to do with it.
No, I was at home. And, them alien lot lizards are dangerous. They are real dangerous. But here's the thing. I remember at that point saying I needed to get a photograph of that. And then I went about my business. I hopped in the shower, went and ate some breakfast. 4 hours later, I remembered about the scratches. 4 hours later, I run back to the bathroom saying, goodness, I was going to take a picture of them. I hope they're still red because this is really weird. And I lift up my shirt, turn my back to the mirror, look back into the mirror, and the scratches are completely gone. No redness, no marks, no scarring. I call my partner in and I said, check this out. She goes, check what out? I said, remember this morning, the scratches on my back? She goes, yeah. I said, look. She goes, they're gone. I said, yes. What happened to them? I don't know. But, I mean, this is part of the weirdness. Like, if you have physical evidence where you get scratched, a lot of people who get taken complain about having little marks left on them, like 3 little dots in the shape of a triangle, or what they call scoop marks. Where if you look on your shin, all of a sudden you got a new dimple on your shin that's never been there before. Those are called scoop marks. So you look for the evidence of it. And then if that's not there, you look for the reality of what happened. All right, to make sure it wasn't a dream. Because a lot of this is just imagination, nightmares, because I hate the word night terrors or the saying night terrors. When did that become popular? I don't know. Don't like it.
No, me neither.
But it's one of those things where you just have to break it down to the lowest common denominator to see what is happening and how it's happened.
It's amazing, as it all is, and the telekinesis thing is amazing to me. Anyway, the notion that somebody could, sort of become one with physical matter and be able to move it So
Right.
the whole story is amazing. There was one other piece that you wanted to talk about here on the show because we've only got 2 minutes here, Dave. It was an update from last week. We spoke about the Israeli guy, the Chaim Eshed
Yes.
story, and you had an update on that one?
We do. He has still not changed his story, and now there's a bunch of people within the United States Secret Service who are asking questions about what is actually known about this galactic federation. The UFO community will not drop this. They are looking into it. All of the people who said, hey, you called us wingnuts before, well, guess what? They're now trumpeting the fact that they've been telling the truth the entire time. So Chaim Eshed, people are still trying to get to know him. They're trying to fabricate stories that he is potentially ill, that he has dementia, that he has other mental diseases and illness, or because of his age, he's been reading too many sci-fi books that have led to him. But the weird part about it is his story has not changed 8-9 days later. Now, the government from the Pentagon, Susan Goff, she still will not comment on this, and there's still big questions on whether or not this has got to Donald Trump, and in the final days of his presidency coming up, or what looks to be, as they continue whatever's going on down there, that there is some saying that he may, just may, come back and say, well, I'm out of here, so guess what, America? We've got aliens. And that's what people are wondering if it's going to happen now.
It's an amazing story. Thanks for the update. I appreciate it. Dave Scott, spacedoutradio.com. If you want to follow Dave and check out his podcast and his new podcast, too, it'll be all there for you, too. We've got one more show before Christmas, Dave. I look forward to next week. We will talk to you soon, bro.
Always a pleasure, Shane. Thank you so much. Take care. All right, let's get to the news, shall we? Love it when we go across Canada. The news is always changing, which is why we bring you the SOR Newswire at the back end of every show, where we get to the weird, the strange, the wacky, and sometimes what can we say here? What can we say? The great one. Yes, the great one. So, police say they have made 2 arrests after Wayne Gretzky memorabilia was stolen from the home of the hockey legend's father. The Gretzky family reported the souvenirs were stolen from Brantford, Ontario's home of Walter Gretzky in August. Brantford police launched an investigation and say they quickly discovered that several of the missing items had likely been sold to various collectors across Canada. Police say that a 3-month investigation identified specific residences where the stolen property was believed to be located. Last week, 5 homes were searched across Ontario and Alberta by police officers from Brantford, Halton Region, and the OPP at RCMP. Police say they recovered several items of Gretzky's memorabilia, including game-used sticks, hockey gloves, pants, jerseys, and the NHL's Player of the Year award from the 1983-84 season. The estimated value of the recovered property is believed to be more worth than $500,000. I would like to sincerely thank every member of the team. The professionalism, dedication, and the support they have shown has been greatly appreciated, said Glenn Gretzky, Wayne's brother, on the family's behalf. Police also say they have uncovered evidence of a second person unrelated to the initial investigation, believed to have committed a fraud involving a Gretzky hockey stick. A 58-year-old male from Oakville, Ontario, is charged with theft over $5,000 and possession over $5,000. And a 58-year-old female from Brockville, Ontario, is charged with fraud over $5,000 and breach of trust. Police say the investigation remains open. Memorabilia featuring the NHL legend can fetch as high as a price from anyone from collectors. A mint-condition Gretzky rookie card just recently sold for $1.3 million. Yes. You know what? Gretzky is a legend and an icon. I have met his father. His father is one of the nicest human beings you could ever meet. And the fact that some idiots broke into his house to steal the pride and joy of everything that, his son has done through the life to become a Canadian legend, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. We got one more here. Another good Canadian story. An Ontario woman fed up with a package with package thieves said she got them back. Oh, it was sweet revenge after she left a box of poop on her front porch and it was stolen 40 minutes later. Lori Pringle of Hamilton said she's had several packages disappear from her front porch during the last 3 years. So, having enough, she decided to set out a bait package filled with cat poo. I live in a very busy downtown street. My front door pretty much opens out onto the sidewalk. I've had numbers of packages stolen since I've lived here. As a result, I have a very clear label for all my Amazon packages, indicating that they should ring my video doorbell. A couple of the couriers that Amazon uses almost never read the label, so that results in my packages being stolen fairly often. Pringle said the box of poop was stolen within 40 minutes of being set outside. The homeowner said she captured the theft on video, and a neighbor identified the culprit as the same person who had recently swiped a package from her porch. Good for them. When in doubt, hit somebody with poo. Thought of the Day happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, then read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. Today's Thought of the Day is as follows. Thank you for the clown, Marty. Today's Thought of the Day: what do you think your pet would say if you could understand it telepathically? Serena, more walks and treats, please. Bailey would say, according to Heidi, thank you for rescuing me and please do everything you can to make my cancer go away. Alex, put a shirt on, you furless weirdo primate. Jason, seriously, dude, try eating the cat's poo before you judge me. That crap's delicious. Kevin, feed me, then go bath, stinky. Chris, this is what you get for leaving me with the stuff here. Chris, just messing around. Ann, I love you. Chris, why do you put up with these shenanigans? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sylvia, they would say, don't worry, Mommy, it'll be okay. We are here and we love you. Dana, are you going to share those cheesies with me? Gail, well, I put that mouse in your slipper so we could eat together. Oh, nice, Gail. Darren, don't talk to me like I'm an idiot. I bark because I bark. Thank you to everybody taking part in the Thought of the Day. We'll do it all again tomorrow on Facebook and Twitter. Thank you to Karen Anderson, Shane from the shift, and Captain Shirk for the great news that we have on the SOR Newswire. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at home, at work, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everybody in our chat rooms tonight on Spreaker, YouTube, LGAB, Revolution Radio, Facebook, the Space Travelers Club at our website, and Twitter at #SpacedOutRadio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and SOR Media Ventures Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us, because together, my friends, say it with me, we own the night, Mr. Bumblefoot. We need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Train has docked for the night. But tomorrow, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, yes, we have room for them too. Good night. We did some fantastic radio tonight. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to brag, but we did some fantastic radio tonight, people. We really did. We really did. Beautiful radio. And my headphones are going to fall, even though they're not supposed to. But they're going to want to fall because that's what they do. And, yeah, they're headphones. Ooh, there we go. All right. Yeah, I'll quit that program. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. All right. Mm-hmm. 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 Do-do-do-do-do-do. I'll be right with you, people. Just getting set up here. Let's go, Chucky. Corin's the booking guy. He likes to eat catfish. I don't know why. Anyways, that's all I got. That's all I got. Ruin. Ruin. Just ruined Corin's the booking guy. Ruined. Corin's the booking guy. He likes eating breakfast for dinner. Thinks there's nothing strange about it. Closing off a bunch of these windows so I can actually see you guys. Hey, 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 there you are. There you are, people. Corin's the booking guy. All right. Good night, gorgeous jewels. Good night, dirty filth. Corin's the booking guy. He likes to eat Cheetos. I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing. I'll be right back. Here we go. Oh, wrong mouse. Working there. All right. Let's look. How we all doing, guys? Having a good night? Hey, Kian Henderson, how are you? Or is it Kyan? Or Kyan? Roy boy, how you doing, man? Corey didn't like my singing. Like, you're gonna get flagged by YouTube for your singing again. Damn it, Corey. You didn't like my singing? Where is the beginning here? Wait. Let me turn that up. Here we go. There it is. Looking, since you live in the... Hold on. Get rid of my little cough right there. There we go. Perfect. Oh, the editing button is working well good tonight. There we go. Like a well-oiled machine here. Like a well-oiled machine. My goodness. Such a well-oiled machine. Go to Bergerac. Oh, Corrins, you crack me up, brother. You crack me up. Stop singing, Dave, you jerk. The horrible fucking song. Anyways, 45 people here. How we all doing? Gorgeous Teresa, how are you? How's Gorgeous Teresa doing? All right, let's go like this. Let's copy that there. I'm leaving the singing in there. We break into song for Corrence the booking guy. Corrence the booking guy. He's like, shut the hell up already. Working in the garden. Who works at the garden in the middle of the night? What kind of garden do you have? Maybe I shouldn't ask. Murray Fisher, what are you doing? How you been, man? Thank you again for the super chat, man. I notice you're Canadian. Where are you from, Murray? Austin, are you in Canada too? I think I already know that answer. Oh, you're in Alberta. Very cool. You can almost see Duke, yeah. He's pretty close. Are you in the southern part, Murray? Are you like near Drumheller and all there? Oh, Vinster. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. That's really cool. Very cool. Thank you. Oh, gorgeous Teresa. Thank you for the super chat. That's awfully kind. Awfully kind. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are way too kind to me. Way too kind. So tomorrow night on the show, we're talking Bigfoot on Ghosts of the Great White North. Darcy Weir will be here. He's a British Columbia filmmaker. He makes documentaries on weird and strange. I've done some work for him in the past. And, yeah. Good guy. Bringing on a couple Bigfoot hunters, so it'll all be all Bigfoot. Merle may have to take the night off. He's pretty sick right now. Not sure if he has the vid or not. He's feeling pretty gross right now. He wasn't doing too well today when I talked to him. Find out how he is tomorrow. You make pretty good money, man. It's that one. So hopefully we'll have Merle here tomorrow night. I'm not sure if we will or not. I hope we do, though. I'm a little worried about him. I really hope he doesn't have the vid. That would really suck if he did. Torrance, the booking guy, likes a good burger and fries. I don't make it up, Cor. Just comes to me. Just comes to me, man. Anyways, once again, thank you. Oh, Ben again? Thank you, man. You didn't forget. You may have forgotten, but you did that twice. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. What was I gonna say? Thank you again for all of you listening to me last night regarding my night of depression. I had a very good day today, positive day. First, hold on, overwrite. Oh, thank you, gorgeous Teresa. You've done enough. Both you and Vin have done enough. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. What is going on here? Doesn't seem to be working. Okay, so what? You know what? We're just going to reload these. Remove. Output folder. Remove. Alright, we're going to do this again. Something ain't right here. Got those ones, got that one, that one, that one, got that one. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Now we're working properly. Yeah, so anyways, I want to say thank you for just letting me vent and get it all out last night. Sometimes we need that in our lives. And thankfully all of you were here to, just allow me to vent. It's always really cool. Always really cool. Mm-hmm. What is that? It's yeah. Thank you, Drake. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate that. Yeah. A little dry. Always have hand lotion around. You never know. You don't want dry hands. How many of you now are using hand lotion because the using all of that antiseptic and hand sanitizer is just drying the hell out of your hands? You notice that? I'm noticing that. I wash my hands a lot, especially during my daytime job. Wash my hands a lot. And my hands get dry, okay? Oh, you wear gloves, Duke. Yeah. What's Corn? Thanks, Corns. Thank you, Corns. Thank you, Corns. Alright, let's get this one ready. Open this up. Grab those. Move in there. It's okay, everyone. Almost time to get your 6-digit verification code ready. Because we must verify your existence tonight. We're down to 39 people. 39 people. All right, verification code time. Let's go here, clock that in there, upload that, hit transfer there. And then your verification code for tonight, people, is 504-649. 504-649. Use it wisely and verify wisely, because we want to make sure you are verified before we are able to move on forward on Spaced Out Radio. Bomber, you were the closest. Crispo? No, Crispo was the closest. Look at that. Look at that. I hate LinkedIn. Hate LinkedIn. I think it's horrible. I do. I don't know if I've had a single person endorse me. Have I? Let me check here. Featured, my dashboard, activity, experience. There you go. Maybe I have. Didn't think I had. Either way, hate LinkedIn. Totally hate it. I am tired. I am tired, Corns, the booking guy. As soon as I get the editing done, I'm heading to bed. I am actually quite tired tonight. But that's okay. We're going to have fun tomorrow night. Hopefully Merle will be able to join us. For those of you who have shirt orders in, I'm going to try and get down to the Shirt Shack tomorrow. I got to pick up some stickers as well. And we'll kind of go from there. Get everything out here very, very soon. I know Sherry's got a big rush for us to try and get all of this done. So hopefully we'll be able to make that happen here and get them out. So that way maybe you guys get them before Christmas. That's my goal. That's what I'm hoping here. So we will know very, very soon. Very, very soon. Open that up. Off here. Place these in here. And like that. Folder. On the desktop. Go. Upload. Nice. That's almost done. Good night, Bombshell. Snuggle and sing to Brother Bear. Oh, that sounds a little kinky and odd. Not gonna lie. That's a little kinky and odd. But to each their own, right? To each their own. Okay, that one is done. Just waiting on this one now. Tweet deck off. Close off one Facebook window. What the hell is with some reason Google keeps it shut down on me like 4 times tonight. Oh, but Google was having some problems, weren't they? I think they were having some problems today. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I gotta restart this. Son of a Thank you. Wonderful. Upload folder. Stop. Here we go. Alright, this thing will burn. Murray Fisher. Austin Allen, Chris Jarvis. Lots of Canucks in here. Lots of Canucks in here. Are you leaving me too, Teresa? Are you leaving? Do we need to break into song for Teresa? No, only in my dreams. As real as Teresa seems, she was only in my dreams. No? No, no, no. Only in my dreams. As real as she may seem, Teresa's only in my dreams. Doesn't even acknowledge such artwork. Doesn't even acknowledge it. Hey, Paul Holland, how you doing? You know, I can't keep putting out gold like that if people aren't going to react. Just saying. I just can't continue with that gold. That shit ain't free. I had to think that up. That costs money. Hey, I went with it. Oh, so that's the eye roll love it from Teresa. Like, oh, fuck. Really? I got to respond to that. Love it, Dave. Love it. Bomber. Okay, Bomber wants a song. Hold on. I got to think. Vinny, who doesn't have a crush on Beverly D'Angelo from 30 years ago? Bomber, what can we sing for you? Oh, now I got the pressure on. I gotta think here. Bomber. Give me a day on that one. My brain is shutting down. Give me a day on that one. Default to Motorhead? Oh, yeah. Okay. It's all about the bomb and how you play it. All about the bombshell and if you can take it. It's all about her explosion and who's gonna make it. It's all about SOR and how she's gonna break it. I love the bomb. She don't wanna play me. I am in control. There's no way that she can shake me. There you go. Little Motorhead. Thank you for that, Duke. Appreciate that. Bomber's like, okay, eye roll. Love it. All right, let's see if we can do Kimberly. I got to think of a song here. All right. Sister Kimmy, oh, the time has come. And you know that you're the only one to say, okay. Where you going, what you wooing for? We know that you love listening to SOR. It's true. It's true. Dun, 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 dun. It's true. We're motoring. What's Kim's price for flight? And finding SOR tonight. She'll be back listening. All right. Da-da-da, da-da-da. Okay, there we go. Sister Kimmy, oh, the time has come. Oh, that's actually feeling good. That one feels good. That one actually feels real good. All right. More songs, more entertainment, more laughs tomorrow night. Hopefully Merle is going to be doing well. And guys, I got to get to bed. I'm awfully tired here, and I can't find my mouse. There it is. But thank you to Teresa, Vinster, Cat Chaser, Murray, and Bob for the amazing super chats tonight. I really do appreciate you guys doing that, and absolutely love you guys. And we'll talk to you all tomorrow, and let's have some fun tomorrow night. Hopefully I'll have an update on T-shirts and everything. Much love, everyone. You have a good night, okay? Bye.